Hello, and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Deltagreen tonight, continuing our What Lies We Tell campaign, and we've been having a very active discussion pre-stream about the proper use of the term gaslighting. So if you're interested, or if you perhaps know a little bit about what that term is, how it's applied, how it's used, comment below or in the chat and let us know what you think. And also explain why Stephen is probably wrong, as he usually is.
Gaslight me.
So, here we go. It's ridiculous.
Happy Friday, everybody.
This is what I have to deal with all the time. And
is it Friday when you watch this on YouTube? Is Melissa gaslighting you all?
Yeah, you're not supposed to date the videos like that. Anyhow, I'm just gonna do the
therapist, Jeff.
This is NPR.
ASMR.
This is NPR.
Ready for your tingles?
What's the name of the? I'm blanking now on like NPR shows. Melissa knows. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, now I'm just gonna blank because now I'm on the spot and now I'm just not gonna think of it.
Oh, I can't think of what I was thinking of. Anyhow, but all right. Well, I guess we're all ready to go now, and we can dive in. And then have some more fun tonight. And we're quite delighted to have Agent Inferno back. Long's back after
let's go
taking last week off, and we're gonna dive in. So let's just go right into the summary so that we don't waste any more time. So last time around, Price and Weaver they continued to interview various parents at the Hampton Inn Suites here in Kingman, Arizona, and speaking most notably with Jack and Sharon Delaney. Parents to Anne Delaney, and they learned that Anne had been taking antidepressants and that the Delaney's did not care for Congresswoman Karras. But then again, no one really does. Back at the Best Western, Chopra and Carr decided to contact their handler, Lyda Hall, about a message that they discovered in Sharon Delaney's voicemail. And in the morning, Chopra received a text with GPS coordinates that seemed to correspond to a residential plot of land southeast of Kingman. And they took Inferno, who was very hungry. He needed his protein fix, getting his macros for the day, eating a lot of turkey. And he started to quietly review the dossier of threats supplied by the Congresswoman's office. Chopra and Weaver, they briefly met with Sheriff Gus. I don't quite remember what they talked about, but I'm pretty sure it was unproductive. Price and Carr visited the Kingman Regional Medical Center, earning permission from Jeremy Benton, the sole survivor as of now, got permission from his mother to interview him. His confusion, his dehydration, and all of his injuries continue to be a barrier for communication, but he did offer some new pieces of information. He specifically said that Nick was dead, that Emily and Michael were gone, and that Anne went home. What does that mean? I don't know. Tune in next week when we uncover and unpack that concept. Afterwards, Price and Carr, you spoke with Jeremy Benton's father, Harold, who revealed that Jeremy had been struggling with alcohol while in college, and he also implied that this was something he inherited from Harold himself. Now, Harold was a minister and expressed great concern over what he called this place and saying that it was a bad place and that he wanted to get Jeremy away from here as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Chopra and Weaver and Inferno headed for the coordinates that Chopra had received in her text, and they found a farmhouse with a detached garage, and while poking around the property, learned it was likely inhabited. They slipped into the house because that's what they do, and were caught by an elderly woman with an ornery attitude. We're going to call her for now Mrs. Warrant. And after some tense discussion, she allowed the agents to search the property, so long as they stayed away from the second floor where, quote, Donald is resting. Weaver and Chopra split up, and eventually Chopra peeked inside the old garage where she found a trap door that led to a dusty, hidden chamber with crates below it, scattered belongings, and honestly, what looked very much like a makeshift cell in the back of what they're assuming is a green box. We'll find out right now. But actually, we're going to start with Agent Inferno. No, just kidding. I can't keep doing this. This is terrible. Like I'm falling asleep myself talking like that. How do people?
I'm dying.
It's just, oh God, it's the worst. Okay, so Let's go ahead and let's pick it up. We're gonna start at the we're just gonna go ahead and start at the farmhouse. I'm gonna call it a farmhouse. It's not really a farm. You don't really see a farm or anything like that. There's like a garden, but you don't really see like this. You're pretty sure this wasn't a farm at any point. However, instead of starting with Chopra, we're gonna zoom in on the back seat of this big old four-wheel drive SUV that Chopra and Weaver and Inferno came in, and we see that there is Inferno flipping through this big chunky dossier on all these different threats about Congresswoman Karras. So Inferno, I want 3 rolls from you, but depending on how high your stuff is, actually, you can let me know how high your stuff is. First is going to be SIGINT. Do you have any SIGINT?
No, I have 0.
Okay, give me a SIGINT plus 20. So you're basically rolling a D100 and you need to hit 20 or under. And let me know how you do.
30. So hit.
Okay, no luck in this game. Basically, you're trying to look for some kind of pattern, right? Something that maybe there's some, underlying insidious message in here, but you don't really seem to find anything of that sort. There's tons of different kinds of threats, some of them with physical violence, some of them with withdrawing funding, some of them with not voting for you, stuff like that. Most of them are directed at the Congresswoman herself. Some include the Karras family in general. And it's just, you're not really finding anything to suggest this sort of systematic pattern. However, there are 2 other roles you can potentially make. Psychology. What's your psychology at?
Psychotherapy.
Psychotherapy, sorry.
Okay. 18 in that.
Okay, give me a psychotherapy plus 20 roll. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, human. What am I talking about? Human. What's your human?
Oh, I have a 61.
Okay. You don't even have to roll it then. You do notice that there are some messages that you've gone through that don't feel like authentic. They have like there's an odor about them. Like when you're reading through them, you kind of set them off to the side. Like you get the feeling that these aren't written by normal people. Like you can tell many of these are built from anger, like this anger over maybe something that she voted on or something she said during like some kind of fundraising speech or something like that, or not fulfilling on some kind of promise. Like, and you can see that there's this anger that comes through in some of the messaging. But there's a few that seem almost rehearsed in some way, and it almost feels like a message farm. Like something like someone just sort of conjuring and creating these things. It doesn't really look like an individual person, and you actually start to group a few of those together, and it just feels like they're kind of putting. It's almost like someone's putting or orchestrating a series of messages that are like kind of putting pressure on her, but they're not doing so in a way that comes across as a real human being, but instead is trying to pretend and be and sort of kind of blend in with the messages. The last thing you can do is bureaucracy. What is your bureaucracy at?
That's 40.
Okay, 40 is exactly what you need. So no roll necessary. So what you would know is you're going through these messages and maybe you're checking your phone, doing some cross-referencing and things like that. That she is on a subcommittee. She's basically on like an intelligence and defense subcommittee, and it looks as though she's on the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations, to be specific. And some of these messages seem to correspond with what looks to be like a bill that's being debated in that subcommittee. It's not yet come to proper floor yet in the House of Representatives, but it might not even make it past the subcommittee. It is a Strategic National Defense Infrastructure Modernization Act, which seems to be about, from what you can basically Google, allocating funding for the modernization and expansion of defense and intelligence facilities across the country. And it seems like much of the timing of when those sort of those inauthentic messages roll in seem to be whenever that bill comes up in some of the bigger news outlets. So whether it's like a CNN or thing, or like a Fox News thing, or like a New York Times or an Arizona Republic thing, or locally, everything kind of seems to be timed in that way. There's something about it.
Yeah, I'll finish up the page I'm looking at. Shut them up, close.
And it's at that. Go ahead. And it's at that point you can see Agent Chopra is sneaking into this detached garage. You can see she's kind of pulling back this loose board on the side, and she slips inside from view. And you can't see Weaver currently.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where I remembered reading this at the hotel and then looking up, wondering how I got here. So I step out, close the door,
a bunch
take
of
my surroundings and walk towards her.
Bunch of turkey and chicken bones fall on the ground out of your lap. Thump, 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 thump. Okay. Do you want to go over to Chopra?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get inside, you can see that in the middle of the room there is a trap door that has been opened. You do not see Chopra any longer, but if you come to the edge of it, you look down. That's exactly where we left off last time, with Chopra standing at the base of this ladder going down, looking out. She's got like probably a small pen light or something like that, or a flashlight she's shining around, and that's that. That's where we're at. What do you two do?
I'll light up a tack light as well to get some more light in. Head down with her.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a quick sort of look at, there's a lot of crates and there's a lot of things in here. Trying to go through it all is going to take time. But I will say that you see there's some weapons, some ammunition. You can see that there are some boxes that seem to have Cyrillic markings on them. You can see that there is like a whole shelf on one side that's just stacked with canned foods. There is a very large old leather suitcase. It's like a kind of one of those kind of classic Warner Bros. Kind of almost like they should have like the various stickers on the side. It's like that kind of old traveler suitcase. At the back of there seems to be like a cell cordoned off at the back. Like you can even see these rusted bars that seems to separate it, and you can see through it there's like what looks to have once been a usable cot and a couple buckets maybe. There's no one in there currently, but that's what you see. And then there are a couple cardboard boxes. There's a big box of Marcos brand dot matrix printer paper, and a whole mess load of like cylinders, like these various cylinders. While you're thinking about that, Chopra, I think, did message Weaver. Either, I can't remember if it was a text or she called out, one of the two, but Weaver...
Just say we send you a text.
Okay. Weaver, you were going a different direction. You didn't really find anything. You found like what looks like a kind of an old, I think it was an old hand pump for water, but it seems to have rusted over significantly. You found some boxes for a garden. It doesn't look to have been well kept. You find some piles of trash and stuff here and there, but otherwise it's just sort of like empty desert as far as the eye can see. And then boom, you feel your phone shake. You take a look at it, and Chopra sent you a message.
She's gonna start like making it look like she's surveying as she heads over in that direction. And she wants to see if she's being watched by Miss Warrant.
Sure. What's your alertness?
Only 33.
Okay. Give me alertness plus 20.
Okay.
So roll 53 under.
29.
Okay, fantastic. You do notice that there are curtains on the second floor of this farmhouse that have been pulled back. The window is extremely dusty, however, like caked on dust, like dust storm just came through kind of dust, right? And so you can't quite make out the figure behind the glass, but you can see a hand kind of holding the curtain pulled aside, and you're confident you're being watched. You don't know by whom necessarily. You presume it's Miss Warrant, but someone's watching you.
Okay, yeah. So she's gonna make it seem like she's clearly doing a grid search as she heads over in that direction.
Okay. Say eventually you make it back and you kind of get out of the angle from where you would be seen, and then you kind of scurry over into and catch up with Inferno and Chopra, who are now in this cell. Before we start unpacking it all, I do want to check in with Price and Carr to figure out, where are you guys going next? Because the last we saw of the two of you, you had talked to Harold Benton, and you were at the hospital, the Kingman Regional Medical Center. What was the plan for you two after this? Midday.
Melissa's died so many times that you say Carr, and I have to look at the names to figure out which one we're talking about.
Har.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about going to talk with Ranger Sam. We were going to try and get a hold of him and see if we could question him about like the trails and the route that the kids might have taken.
Okay. I will say that to make somewhat easy, maybe you through the sheriff or just looking it up. You probably have it in some of the debriefing material that your handler gave you. You probably have like a contact number for the ranger's office in the area, and they will forward you a number, and you'll get an old man on the phone. And like, hello, this is Wilson. May I help you?
I think Vin would have had Carr do the phone call.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, is this Ranger Sam?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, with the FBI, Agent Carr.
Well, hello there, Agent Carr. What can I do for you today?
Yes, wondering if we might be able to meet up with you and ask you some questions pertinent to the search and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that should be too much of a problem. Sheriff Gus told me his office kind of contacted me. He said we got some new folk in the area. Might be following up on a few things. I'll tell you this, though. I am over. I'm over at the search grid at the starting point at the Trailhead. If you want to come by, have a little conversation over here. Would that be all right with y'all?
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you very much for making the time for us.
You know how to get here.
Yeah, I will take down your notes. As a local, you are going to make sure we don't make a wrong turn and hold you up.
So he starts giving you directions, and he's referencing various local landmarks that don't register with you, like in the least. Just doesn't really make sense at all. But eventually, he does kind of pick up on the fact that he's being a little ridiculous, like being a little overly granular. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna try again.
Yes.
When you're in Kingman, look for Stockton Hill Road. You got that? You want to take that north until you get to John Neal Ranch Road. Now, it's an easy road to miss normally, but there is a gravel lot right off of it where a lot of folk kind of start some of their hikes and such. And there's going to be plenty of vehicles over there. You'll see one of mine, and you'll see probably some of the sheriff's as well. So it should be pretty easy these days to find. So you probably won't get lost at that point. All right, but Stockton Hill, John Neal, that's where you want to go. You got it?
I got it. Got
Don't
it. Yes,
get
and
it
she's
confused with John Stockton and Neal Ranch. That's wrong.
that
Neil
is
Hill.
incorrect.
You know, John Stockton was a fantastic point guard for the Utah Jazz. You a basketball fan there, Agent Carr?
I've definitely heard the name before. Yes, thank you. And she's been relaying all of this.
I played a little.
Yes.
I played a little college ball. You know.
Oh, you do?
Back in my day.
That's great. What college do you play?
Well, Northern Arizona University. Yes, I did. Just down the road.
Oh, go Lumberjacks.
Hey, look at you. Look at you. Know the area well, I take it. Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, well, you reckon you're going to be here pretty quickly?
Yes. We will be headed straight towards you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'll see you soon then. I'm the old fella with the big 10-gallon hat. Actually, it doesn't really narrow me down too much, to be honest with you, but I'm the fella who's in the ranger outfit.
Yes. We will see you shortly. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. And so he hangs up.
And she's looking over to Agent Price, expecting that he's been taking notes as she's been like doing the thing where like Ranger Sam says something and she says, "Oh yes," and repeats it, looking in his general direction, expecting that he's taken something out and has been taking notes. And so she kind of looks over to him and says, "You got that, right?"
Yeah, let's stop at this quick stop over here. I need some drinks.
Okay. So the two of you get in your car, start driving north. You stop at a quick stop, get some drinks, etc. We cut back to the farmhouse. All three of you are now inside this little cellar hidden beneath the detached garage. It is not like, it doesn't have the height of a normal room, but all of you are you're short enough to be able to fit underneath. It's probably about an 8-foot tall ceiling, maybe at most. But you can see it sags here and there. What are you guys doing? What does this look like for the three of you?
Use the corners, Chopra.
Yeah. Well, this whole area, actually. And Chopra is going to be looking for, like, sort of reflexively looking for, is there a bulb anywhere in the ceiling? Like, she's kind of looking for a light source. Is there a bulb?
Oh, you mean like a light? Like I said, bug. Sorry, my bad. You don't see. You see, there were hurricane lanterns and things like that, like kerosene lanterns,
Right.
but you don't see any electricity like run through here. No.
Okay. So that's the first thing she's looking for. Since that's not there, she'll kind of say that out loud to everyone else, like, no light down here, just our flashlights.
Let's take a look around then. Find anything about Operation Quicksand.
You said there were crates down here, Jack?
Oh yeah, there's lots of boxes, cardboard boxes, crates, things like that. It's definitely like a hoarder's kind of feel to it. There's tons of stuff. That's why I said it's gonna take a while to get through it all.
Yeah.
What are your searches? What do y'all have for search?
74.
My
34.
Okay, 50. Inferno and Chopra. So again, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get it for free. Weaver, you can roll. You can do a roll, but it's really about you all. I'll go through again some of the things that you see, and you tell me what you want to kind of poke around with. Some weapons, some what looks like crates with some Cyrillic markings on them, shelf with a bunch of soup cans, old-fashioned traveler suitcase. Cardboard box you think that's got a bunch of these like these canisters sticking out of them. There's a separate like what looks like a lead line cylinder, like a thick heavy cylinder, kind of tucked in the dust on the ground near some of the stacks of crates. There looks to be like a stack of some files and papers and such inside of like an old-fashioned milk crate, and then like a big box of dot matrix printer paper, Marcos brand. So the two of you, what catches your attention of that list?
I want to go to the box with the cardboard cylinder, with the cardboard box with the cylinders, as my thought is, this looks vaguely mechanical and I want to know what it is.
Okay. Sounds good.
Go for the milk crate with the files.
Okay, sounds good. And then Weaver, what would you think you're doing?
She'd probably be looking at that suitcase.
Okay. All right. So we'll just kind of go around. And Weaver, go ahead and give me a search plus 20 as you go through. Inferno and Chopra, you're high enough searches that you're good to go. I'm going to start with the box. So Chopra, you head over. And it is a kind of a dusty, stale, like you're pretty sure like if you pick this box up by the handles, it would probably give way underneath. And so you have to be kind of careful with it. But what you see as you come up are what looks like a 5 steel canisters. You have a background in like audio, right? Like we talked about that, like signals and audio.
It's part of it, yeah.
So you would be able to recognize that these are kind of 1970s era recording reels and on magnetic tape. So there's like these canisters, and so when you start looking at them, they like you're pretty sure that there's audio on here. Now it would take you some specialty audio equipment to be able to get it off here, or you can get like a service to do it for you. But you're pretty sure these are recordings, likely from the 1970s, maybe era, something like that.
Okay.
And there are 5. Inferno.
So sorry, just
No, go
one
ahead.
question. How? Obviously, Chopra knows, but Matthew doesn't. How big are they? Like, about a foot each, or bigger or smaller?
I should have got a picture of it. So let me see if I got. a
Are
picture.
they carryable? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you just like they're in a cardboard box. You just have to like kind of scoop it underneath your arms to grab them,
Okay.
so that the box doesn't rip apart. Because everything's kind of old. Doesn't look like anything's really been touched in a while.
That was my question. Thank you.
Okay, Inferno, you're going through some of the files and things you said.
Yes.
Okay, and your search is like 74, right?
Correct.
Okay. You go through it, and a lot of this stuff has been like, it looks like a lot of bank records and things like that. Most of it, as you're flipping through it, looks kind of fairly uninteresting. You don't really see like anything that's particularly top secret. Most of this stuff is either handwritten or printed out, like ledgers and things. There's no real documentation of where this comes from, who it comes from, but it just looks like accounting books for a while. But then you catch two things as you're going through this box. One appears to be a monograph. So a monograph is it's basically like a small book, like a study, like an academic study in a way. And it's just hilarious. This is you that's finding this. That looks to be relatively old, and you can see that it's got the Miskatonic University logo on it. So it looks to be a monograph. It's anonymous. You can see that the publication date was 1977. And as you start flipping through it, or as you open it up, you notice that there are several high quality photos. And obviously, like, the condition of them is a little dated, but since they've been closed, they're still in fairly good condition. And it includes several high quality photos of what appears to be a green dodecahedron about the size of a chestnut that you, Inferno, in fact, have. Yeah.
Wow.
Reach my pocket, pull out.
Yeah, it's right there. It is, in fact, very much the same one. At least it looks like it. So if you want to read this, it's an academic text. It would take a little bit of time, but there's a lot of photos. So you could potentially...
I'll back pocket for now.
Okay. However, tucked into the back of that monograph is a grainy black and white photo, and it's grainy, like you can tell, like it's the type of photo that might have been taken not from a high quality lens, but maybe from like a hidden camera or a hidden lens, something like that. And it looks like a very like at first glance, it looks like a very nondescript government office, and it's definitely got furniture consistent with like the 80s, like it's kind of got that style, that vibe to it. However, because your search is 74, one thing very clearly catches your attention, and that you might have been ready to just tuck it right back in until you like kind of stop, and you see a copy of the Frank Ryder book Magnificent 12 in retrograde, splayed open and turned upside down on the desk of this office. You see that on the back wall, there's like this matching shelf, there are dozens of VHS tapes of monster and horror movies that are, some of them you can see that are visible on the seams. Definitely old school stuff, like 1920s, 1930s, 1940s stuff. Some got handwritten labels, others have like official release sleeves or something like that. And then there's one other thing. Yeah, now that your eyes are starting to track across the room a bit, there's a shadow on the wall that indicates that there should be like it looks as though there's a person in this room, and that shadow is cast from somebody sitting at the desk chair. However, the desk chair is very clearly visible, and there is nobody in that chair. Roll sand, please.
Oh god.
Whoa.
30 sand.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
91. That's a failure.
Okay.
Oh.
Take 1 point of sand loss. What does this look like? So what do you think? How do we see Inferno reacting to this?
I'm flipping through these pages, looking at the photos. and I catch the glimpse of the shadow and shine my light back and forth towards the chair and the wall. And that catches me off guard, so I drop my light, it flickers off for a moment. And I'm kind of freaking out.
Okay. All right. Hand shaking a little bit, maybe. Okay. We're going to cut over then to Weaver. As this is all happening concurrently. So Chopra going through that box, Inferno going through this, and now Weaver is gonna get some. How'd you do in your search?
I got an 8. Success.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. So you go over to this suitcase. And again, it's an old-fashioned suitcase. Traveler. It definitely looks like the type of thing that you might find in like an antique store. And it's quite large. It's like leather, but you also feel like there's maybe some wood and stuff like it's part of the construction. And when you crack it open, you realize that inside the suitcase there are several Blockbuster video bags, and all of them seem to be filled with what appear to be unreturned copies of films. You can feel like they're all VHS, I should say.
Okay.
And they have like that Blockbuster video logo, the plastic case. Like you'd have to crack them open to see inside each of these cases to see what these films are. There's nothing on the outside of them, but that's all that's in here. Several bags, all full. There's probably about 15 videos in here in total.
She'll open one just to see.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll a little die. Nothing you have to worry about. This is just to see which one you open. That's it.
That's what I figured. As you said,
Okay.
there's 15.
Okay. You open one, and you see a label. It's a 1971 film. And the title of it is "In the Eye of the Hurricane."
Okay. Wasn't that is that a Declan title?
No, it is not. Oh God, what would I have you roll for this? This is a very specific film. Do you have anything do you have any arts? Do you have any art skills?
No.
Okay.
I have Spanish, statistics.
No.
I have blacksmith.
Nope. None of those things are going to apply here. I'll tell you what, give me an int times 3. I don't want to do a full times 5. Because these aren't this isn't like a mainstream movie.
How do we change it to being times 3 versus?
That's fine. I don't think you can. It's just sort of a thing I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
So you need to roll 39 or under, and you rolled a 59, I believe. Okay. So you are not familiar with it, but you can if you would like. It's what year is this? It's we're in 2016 or so, or 2014. You could look stuff up, so it's not like you can't, but you're not getting good signal in this cellar.
Okay.
So
in my notes app, I write the title down to check it back. And then I think that would kind of prompt me to maybe open 2 more just to see if they're all older films. Gotcha.
Okay. All right. The next one you open is a 1969 film by the name The Doll of Satan.
Okay.
And then the last one is, oh God.
While you're looking that up, welcome raiders. Thank you, Valdriant, for the raid.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hope you had a good game tonight. So I shit you not. The next one you should open up, the title of the movie is Inferno.
Oh my gosh. No way. What year was that?
1980.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you would like to roll int times 3, Weaver, on those other 2 to see if you have heard at all about them, Again, just roll 2 D100s. You need a 39 or under, one then the other, and if you see if you recognize either of those two. Doll of Satan, nope, no idea. Nope, 48
Inferno,
over 39.
no
Nope,
idea.
no idea. No clue.
So she starts like calling out these titles as she's like looking at them.
Okay.
I guess is
you
there like
can.
a VHS like player in
No.
here, like a TV?
You don't see a TV, you don't see a VHS player, you see nothing.
What's the point of having all these movies down here if they don't even have a TV? And then like at that point, Lisa kind of just closes the thing back up and just kind of stands up.
Okay. All right. So I'll give you one more. We'll do one more round down here. There's something else that you want to look at, and then we're going to cut over to the other crew. So Chopra, do you move on to something new?
I
'cause
do.
the
Big, heavy lead line cylinder
Okay.
that I have not been able to stop thinking about since you mentioned it.
Okay. So this is more like a big Pringles can, whereas the other one was just sort of like the reels, like if you know what those look like. So one thing you notice is you go to pick it up, and you see it on a blank side. It's just like this metal. Could be steel, could be lead. You think it's lead. When you pick it up, you notice that there is a faded label on the opposite side. And it says, Project Sorrow. Okay. Do you open it up?
I do.
Okay. You open it up, and you can see inside appear to be burnt pieces of paper. You can see like the blackened char of them.
I'm gonna pick them up and see if we can make sense of anything. If there's anything on them to make sense of.
Okay. Your search is 50. You pull them out. You notice two things. You notice there's two sort of legible phrases. One, dimensional anomalies. Two, Dr. Martin. The inside of this cylinder shows a great deal of wear and tear, which would imply that something fairly volatile might have been inside, but all that pours out for you are these charred remains of paper.
Okay. So the reason that this particular thing was so exciting and interesting to Chopra was because usually when you have like a lead line case, it's exactly what you said, Jeff. There's something like intense that's being trying to be kept contained. Is there any indication of what that volatile thing might have been?
There's likely nothing that you could observe with your eyes to suggest what this might be.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
It does release an odor, though.
Is it a recognizable odor or just the odor of steel?
It is pungent and chemical,
Okay.
almost like an aerosol. Okay. All right. Agent Inferno, handshaking, picking up, getting yourself settled. You see the book about Frank Ryder. You see this shadow that's still there. You can shine your light around it as much as you want. You have a freaking monograph that is referencing a weird item that you snatched out of a different green box, and I think it was Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn? Did you get that from?
It was North Carolina.
Was it North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh no, it was from you got it from Frank's from Frank's stuff, I think. It's popped up before.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways,
We'll
it
go
feels like
back.
I'm
Doesn't matter.
yeah, it feels like I'm suffocating down here, so I'll pick my light and head back up.
Okay. When you head back up, you have high alertness, right?
Yeah, 75.
You see on a nearby workbench that where there's mostly just been like all sorts of like dusty equipment and tools and things, there is a tray that you don't recall seeing on your way down. And you see what looks like a pitcher of some kind of liquid with all sorts of ice in it, slightly yellow. And you see 3 tall glasses. And then there's like what appears, like those old fashioned kind of like dinner covers for like a plate. You can see there's like a platter there with what looks to be kind of a steel, somewhat tarnished looking cover over top of that plate.
Did you leave us here, Weaver?
Weaver, you hear his voice.
What?
Did you leave this up here?
Leave what?
These drinks.
No, there's a lady who lives in the house. She gave us a fake name, said her name's Warrant.
Oh, okay. I'll take a slip.
Okay. It's lemonade.
There's a drink here when you're done.
Okay, I probably wouldn't drink it, to be honest. She gave, like, creepy vibes.
You tell me that now.
And, like, at that
we
point,
told
still, like,
not to drink strange drinks you find in garages.
she literally, like, turns to look at Chopra, like, is this something I have to explain to an adult? Like,
I assumed
what?
you met her that she was nice. She's giving us drinks.
There
Oh, God.
okay, this must be a woman thing. You need the unattended drinks are just like
I think that's a woman thing.
Yeah,
of, like,
maybe.
the
if you
immediate
didn't see it
distrust.
poured and it's open,
No.
you don't take it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go talk to her while you're down here.
Do you not want to look underneath the dinner lid?
Oh, there's something there.
Oh, yeah, look,
Just
please.
here. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look.
You reach down, you grab the tarnished lid, and you pull it off. You see underneath it are a series of sandwiches. They're cut into small triangles. The crust have been cut off. Appears to be tuna fish.
Little finger foods.
And better. I'll grab one and head in.
Okay, so you grab and you start walking out out of the garage and over towards the house. Weaver, we're gonna come back to you. Did you have a second round of things that you want to look at, or did you want to look at the suitcase more? What do you want to do?
I think actually she wants to take one of the 3 movies.
Okay.
And then look at the
There are
paper.
15 in there. So if you want to take, is there a specific movie you want to take?
I want to grab Inferno because that's funny. That's his name.
Okay.
My name's funny to you?
No, it's just
Your real name.
we have Agent Inferno, and then now we found this movie named Inferno. So
And you
joke.
found that book, Inferno Unleashed.
that's true. Yeah, it's just a hot summer, you know? We're in a desert.
It's a white hot American summer.
Oh.
In fact.
Sorry, Mitra.
Yeah.
No, it's a great movie.
Canadians.
Do I need to roll again?
So what are you looking for again? I'm sorry. Like what's the
the
next
like
thing you're...
printer paper stuff?
Okay. You go over, you pull the box out, you take a look at it. It is old. It's got a colorful, kind of reddish, it's faded now, lid, and then it looks like white and blue that were the sort of the base of the box. Marcos brand, you pull the cover off, and you can see that the first 3 pages, and it is printer paper. It is old dot matrix printer paper. You can see the perforated sides and everything. And you can see at the very top, there is stuff printed on them. And it doesn't look like words on the very first page. Instead, it looks like a chart with little peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. That's just the top page.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at like the next page, see if it just keeps going.
You see the next one, the next page appears to have more. Same sort of thing, look like waveforms. And you pull up the third, and it looks like there's some sort of translation text, and it reads Echo 19, Echo 7. Echo 19, Echo 7. Team compromise. Installation confirmed. Entity confirmed. Reinforcements requested. Rally point Alpha. You pull the next page and it's blank. Next page, it's blank. Next page, and it's blank. The next page, and it's blank. And you go through the rest of the entire box. All the other pages are blank. Just the top 3 sheets seem to have anything printed on them.
But it's all just waveform, and it's not like...
That's it. Series of audio waveforms with a text translation on the 3rd page.
She's gonna grab it and take it over to Chopra, because she translated or worked on the other wave file that we had.
That's the exact same message. That's the exact same message.
And the paper is old, because it's
in good condition because it's been in this box, but it's I'm not sure if you're familiar with continuous feed paper because you're
I've
young.
seen it. It's been a long time.
Okay.
But
Ashley, I
all
also
the
threw in
rage
chat
it is.
earlier.
What?
Has Ashley been in a Blockbuster video?
I have.
She knows what a video store is.
To ask. Well, just in general.
She knows
like,
of it.
That was like
brought
the
in
cool
as an
part of the
infant.
weekend was I get to
Yeah.
go there and my dad's just like,
I
pick a
miss it.
movie. I don't
God, I
care.
miss Blockbuster videos. Those were fun. I mean, not just Blockbuster, any video store. I don't really care about the
serious.
specific brand.
Serious.
Okay. So, as Weaver brings us over to you, Chopra, you're absolutely right. You see the same waveforms. You see the same trend. Everything's the same. It's just older, faded. You can tell that this has been around for a while, but it's in good condition because it's been inside this box. At this point, we're going to cut from here. We're going to check in with Price and Carr. Think about whatever it is that you guys want to do after this, and then we'll cycle back. Price and Carr, you follow the directions of Ranger Sam. No issues whatsoever. And eventually you do see a handful of cars. It's not there's not as many as you think there might have been or should be or whatever it might be, but there are some. You can see a sheriff vehicle or two. You can see a park ranger. He's got the Park Services Department logo on the side. And you can see that there are a handful of folks that are kind of lingering here and there. Some of them are coming back and kind of getting some water. There's some what looks like tables that have been set up. There's some coolers and things. It definitely there's not that many people here now though, as it's around midday. But you very much see a tall, slender man with a big old white hat, cowboy hat on, and he's there and he's kind of like speaking with a person or two. This has got to be him.
Ranger Sam.
Yeah, that's me. Who's
I'm Special Agent in Charge Price. This is Agent Carr.
Oh, Agent Carr, we spoke. Basketball fan. Go
Yes.
Lumberjacks.
Yes.
All right.
nice to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you all too. Pleasure to meet you. It's just shames under such terrible circumstances, you know. Just kind of how it kind of works out. But you said y'all had some questions you want to ask me. I'm an open book. You go right ahead.
To start with, let me show you this list, and I pull out my little piece of scratch notes. I don't even have a real notepad, just a couple pieces of paper, and I pull out one of them that has the list of like all the markers in like the code names, the trail markers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do any of these look like they could make sense to you? You could piece together the route they were planning based on these landmarks.
Okay. All right. So you're at the trailhead, and he's like, "Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, I heard the old congresswoman had some sort of GPS and such, and they didn't really bring me in on that point, but I'm more than happy to help out. Let's see. We get well, there's a rock formation a little over yonder there called the Finger. Might be the bird here. Might be our college fella here's got something of a sense of humor." But it kind of
It does seem likely that they're all
it looks a little like this, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. That was very rude of me. And it's because it's got
You're fine.
that one column of rock, and then a couple little smaller columns along the side. It very much looks like a man or a woman is flipping someone on the bird. So that's probably that right there. Maze. I'm not so sure what that's referring to. Gal, Pat. Well, we do have a rock formation a little yonder way, a little further out to the east. It's not too far away from Reservation Board. It's called the Three Sisters. At least some folks call it that. So, but there are three, and common interpretation is that the rocks just look like women. So it could be that. It's not that far. I can kind of point you in the direction if you want to go take a look.
Maybe in a bit. There's a couple others on that list. 2 more, right?
Shrooms was the 4th.
4th.
Well, shrooms, huh? I tell you what. One of you give me a luck test. Pure 50-50. 1 to 50. He might piece it together.
Go ahead.
51 to 100. He's too old and senile.
I'm rolling.
Sure.
Yeah, my luck's probably not doing too hot.
Who's rolling? To write that down.
It's 32. I rolled
32. Why are you rolling as Lisa Young?
I have
Why
no
are you
idea.
trying to steal Ashley's character?
Why are you trying to gaslight us?
We are all
Better.
Lisa.
Stop.
I think because
gaslighting, Melissa.
I don't have a token on the front page. So I think I've got...
Are you an expert in Foundry now? Is you so You're all set. You should be able to work that. Okay, would you roll 32? You're good?
Yes, thank you, Ashley's luck.
Well, I guess now that think about it here. I haven't been out there in a while, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure one of the teams probably went there the last week or so. But a little further eastward of that Three Sisters formation I was telling you all about, they're very close. Probably the closest spot, I would say, to the reservation. There's a kind of a sheltered canyon. It's pretty small, and it's got 100 of these kind of like chest high stones, just all over the place. Ain't too big. I guess if maybe you were on a little bit of a certain substance, you might look at them, call them toadstools or something. Could be big old mushrooms. My grandson, I remember I bought him that video game there. Oh man, what that must have been. Must have been 1987, I think it was. Kind of running around eating mushrooms and such. Some kind of Italian plumber or something. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I don't play video games.
Well, I don't either. But
I think
I'm a family man.
Skipped me.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's kind of a rare thing for me to suddenly know a little bit more about video games than folks that are clearly half my age. But here we are.
Sounds like they enjoyed it though. So, good job.
Oh yeah, sure. He's working at the Google now. Yeah, he got real into all that electronics and stuff. Does the programming, hacking, and things like that. Yep.
Wow, good for him. That's great. You must be very proud.
Oh, I'm quite proud. Quite proud. Absolutely. With he's a fine, upstanding boy. He's probably about your age. I'll be honest with you, there, Agent Carr. Oh, that's inappropriate. I apologize. We probably shouldn't be talking about ages right now. I beg your pardon. I'm just an old man. That's all. Just ignore me.
Anyhow. Not offended by a conversation of my age. I was more curious if you were you're quick to matchmaking, if that's what you were trying to do there.
Well, he's quite an intelligent boy. I'll tell you that. Quite intelligent, but he's had a little more unfortunate, in the whole personal department. He's been on there's some dating apps and such, I think he calls them, and just he's not getting the matches, whatever it is. I don't really understand it too much.
Well, you've got Carr's number. You should forward it. Next time he's in Arizona, maybe they can.
I don't live in Arizona, and he works in tech. He should know that there's a lot.
She's only a couple hours away.
Nonsense on the apps like that, and she's just sort of like looking back at her like new teammate, and she's like, I do.
Just trying to hide my smirk behind an energy drink.
That's Steven coming out, not Price. That was Steven, not Price, who did that. Oh goodness. Okay.
You've been helpful with that. Thank you.
More than happy. More than happy.
That I wanted to run by you. There was some conversation about a local a local story that it's possible that they were trying to follow
Yeah.
Enrique Navarro. Do I have that right in my notes?
Nope. Yeah, you're very well researched. Very well researched. That's correct indeed. Yeah, there's a fellow by the name Enrique Navarro. You're absolutely right. He writer. You can check out some of his books. I know Kingman Library's got him, a couple copies and such here and there. The Sign Desert is one, and From the Desert of My Dreams, that's the one I'd like if you ask me. I read them both. That's the one I'd recommend. It's a little bit older, looking back. It's got a bit of perspective, is what you call it, So definitely, go ahead and take a look at that one. Anyhow, the story goes that, his mama, she married a Mexican man, Mexican American man, and her family wasn't particularly happy with her choice. And when he went off to World War II, he served. He's a veteran, but sadly he died. Never came back. And I'm not exactly sure the reasons why it is, and I guess part of that's been lost to time, but it might be in some of his books, and I'm just not remembering. I'm an old man. But the family, I kicked them out. And so the story is they went wandering out in the desert. This place, they called it the Sign Desert, out here because of the wind. Anyhow, and they just kind of wandered. They got lost. And sadly, his mother, Belinda Navarro, she never made it out. But the boy, Enrique, they found him. And, there are all sorts of stories kind of popped up here and there about, him seeing things out there and things, like a city of people and weird folks and things. And, one thing led to another. And, the 70s and the 60s hit, and everybody was taking all sorts of different drugs and things, the LSDs, the Quaaludes, that kind of thing. Anyhow, so folks kind of want to go off on this kind of adventure and see if they can kind of see whatever it was that he sees. Yeah, every year we kind of got to go rescue one or two folks who maybe took something they shouldn't and dehydrated themselves out there. Most of the time it's fine. It's just a, small little misdemeanor here for possession and, a couple hospital bills they got to sort out. But
would you happen to know where they found Mr. Navarro?
Specifically speaking, oh goodness, no, I can't say I do. I'm not sure if there's a specific location that's documented in any particular place, but he kind of came out. Well, he came out of the desert a ways, and no, I can't say. I don't think that information is up here, I'm afraid to say.
No, I understand. I appreciate it. A long time ago. Another question for you, kind of looping back to these landmarks here. If we were going to follow a route that would take us to, you feel confident about 3 at least. If we were going to follow a route that would take us through these, is there a specific trail that goes near them? Would we have to go off trail? And if so, how long would that take?
Oh, if you're just looking to get on over with the bird, that's that way. That's shortly. You can kind of get there pretty quickly. Gallup House, that's a little longer. Probably take you maybe 2 hours or so. Kind of get on over there. That Shrooms place is another maybe an hour or so after that. It depends on how fast you're hiking and such. In terms of like trail, there's some trails. They crisscross here and there. The 3 sisters there, though, there is a trailhead that kind of heads off. It's not well marked, but if you get the GPS, it's not too hard to find.
Not well marked, so it'd be easy to get lost from that trail.
Yeah, we sent some folks out that way. We kind of perused the area to see if we find anything there on their persons. Maybe they left this or that behind. Well, we didn't find any evidence that that's where they ended up, though. Which isn't to say y'all are FBI. I'm sure you probably see things better than some of us do. I mean, you're all in the FBI. You got, what is that, Quantico? Y'all went through Quantico. You probably got eagle eyes, don't you? Just got eagle eyes. Can kind of see everything. Can see all the pores on my head, I'm sure, right now. Every little capillary.
I'm
that's
sure you all
bursting.
did a fine job searching. We're just going through, FBI training. We've got to rebuild everything that happened, try to recreate
course.
and build a timeline and all that.
Well, I mean, if you all want to hit out there, I can get you some water over here. We got some stuff set up. Get a little walkie-talkie in case you get lost. I can get you on the same channel I'm on. And if you want yourselves some better hats, I got a couple in my truck. Just kind of keep the sun out your eyes a bit and not let yourselves get overheated, son.
Yeah, Vin's not wearing a hat at all. And he's not wearing hiking shoes either. But I think he would still say, I appreciate that. I'll be okay. The walkie-talkie in the water would be great, though, just to be safe.
Oh, absolutely. No problem. No problem at all. He kind of goes over, kind of pulls out like this big old hunking walkie-talkie, kind of turns it to his channel. We're on channel 7, hands it over. And then he kind of gives you these big old bottles of water, and he kind of fills them in what looks like a tote canvas bag and kind of just puts a couple of them in there. You're going to get thirstier than you think out there. Very dry. Very dry. Here you go.
I appreciate that.
No,
Ranger, if you don't mind me asking, since you've been around for a while and have been just picking your brains here.
That's a nice way of saying I'm an old man. I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you.
You said it yourself, so I thought I would just kind of jump in on that local knowledge,
Sure.
as it were.
Well, of course, of course.
We understand that there have been, over the decades, possibly even going back to the 70s, some discussions around construction out in this area. Is that ring any bells? Any some site visits maybe 3 or 4 years ago?
Oh,
and
you
then
talk? Sure, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about. That's them. What were they called? March Technologies, I think it was. Nope, is that right? February. It one of them months. I think it was one of the months, something like that.
Yeah,
anyhow, and a couple other folks too. Like kind of they kind of looked like y'all. I'll be honest with you, kind of big and serious. Packing heat and kind of like pats his hip a little bit when he says it. Anyhow,
for their construction.
Well, no, they were surveying sites, is what they were doing. They were looking for a place to build a new facility. Now, I don't think they, as far as I understand it, some sort of, they got into some sort of kind of bureaucratic tie-up of some kind, and whatever funding, whatever this, that, or the other didn't come, and they kind of, I think it's on hold or something. I don't know. It might be indefinite. I'm not really sure. I'm not really a politician.
Understood. And that didn't go anywhere.
No, I'm afraid it didn't. Well, I mean, I don't know what they were going to build. It's some sort of science thing or something, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they were going to. I think they were going to employ some folks. We don't got many scientists around here, but other folks too.
Good for local economy. Get a new employer in the area.
Yeah.
Do you recall any similar rumors of things several decades back?
Several decades. How many decades are we talking about?
70s.
Oh, darling, that's so long. You're really mining the inner depths, aren't you? Well, I don't really recall. It was a different time back then, and a much different time. Kingman was we've kind of preserved a little bit of that kind of down home, that kind of a small town quality. Still, we still kind of maintained it, not like down in we're not one of them Maricopa cities. We kind of keep letting capitalism and commercialism run amok. We kind of keep things a little bit, what's the kids say? We keep it real. No, I think that's what they say. Anyhow, no, yeah, I do seem to remember something. Like there were all sorts of weird things happening out there. Folks kind of doing this, that, and the other. It's a strange place. It's got all sorts of phenomenon. There's some folks who, wanted to kind of push that Area 51 angle. Not, it ain't Area 51. That's a different place. But like they kind of wanted to push that from a tourism perspective because, weird things happen out in the desert and whatnot. But that wasn't a way we went. We got the canyon so close. There's no reason to kind of make things so silly and outlandish like that. It's not like aliens exist, right?
No need to fabricate anything.
Exactly.
Does quicksand or echo mean anything to you?
Well, I know what those words mean. One, wouldn't want to come across it. That's for sure.
No.
Got to disappear
No.
underneath it and everything. Terrible.
Yeah. No.
You know, I remember my grandson loved this movie once. It was called, what was it called? The Never Ending Story. Oh, man. Whew. There's a scene in that movie where there's like a quicksand or something, or maybe I'm not sure if it's the same thing as quicksand. It's not like what I thought quicksand would look like, 'cause it's all watery and such. But the main character, what was his name? I can't remember. Atreyu, that's what his name. That's right. He had a horse, that hell beautiful horse. Like, you know, everyone loved the horse. What was his name? Artax, something like that. Anyhow, horse went ahead and just went up and died right there in the quicksand. Poof. Poor Tommy.
Oh my word!
Boy.
This is a children's movie.
Oh yeah, it is. There's some dark themes in it, and it kept him up at night. But I tell you, that boy, he persevered. He kept on to watch it over and over and over again, over and over. That's how I remember it so well. To be honest with you.
I must
I'd
say,
like to imagine that
quicksand.
at this point, Vin just completely backed out of the conversation and went back to the car.
You're
with
like
the tote
after
bag.
Three Sisters. You've already done the hike.
I imagine Vin's at the car with the tote bag, and he's just putting his energy drinks and cartons of cigarettes in there.
Okay.
Just preparing for the hike.
Okay.
Well, Ranger Sam, I must say that watching movies, I thought that quicksand was much more prevalent in all types of places that one might end up. But I have to say, I've never actually come across it myself.
Oh,
But
that's good.
80s movies made it seem like it was just a danger around
There's
every
another one with it too. Now I'm not thinking
country.
about it. The Princess Bride. You seen this one? Yeah, I remember. They
That-
were kind
that
of
one I
wandering
have
through
seen.
some sort of dark forest or swamps or something, and like she just kind of fell right in it. But don't worry, they got out of it, so everyone was all right. That one was much better, less traumatized.
Well, yes. Exactly. So, and echo doesn't mean anything in particular to you? Doesn't ring any bells from way back in the day?
Can't say it does. No, afraid not.
Any folks like us poking around back in the 70s that you can think about? Have you
You mean
been?
G-Man? Oh, there's always G-Man coming through here. Yeah, they got their trench coats on. They got their fedoras, all that sort of stuff. You know, looking for aliens, flashing a badge or two. You know, sometimes when folks flash them badges, they're not who they're saying they are. They're just pretending.
Shameful.
So,
Shameful. You work hard to earn these badges.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyhow, no, I can't say I know nothing about that.
Well, as Special Agent in Charge Price mentioned, you do have my number, and that's when she turns to like look at him for throwing. And oh dear, he seems to have wandered away. But if you know, sometimes middle of the night something comes to you that you remember about that, feel free to give me a call.
You want me to call you in the middle of the night?
I'm just saying, if you happen to remember anything about things that happened here in the past, that you never know what things are connected.
That takes his hat off, kind of rubs his hand through his hair. Well, if something comes up, I'll be sure to let you know, Agent Carr. You can be sure of that.
Yes.
Back up. So what are we talking about? We learn anything new, Carr?
Hey, you ever seen that movie, The Princess Bride?
I don't watch children's movies.
Oh, okay. You don't got no kids?
Oh no, I have a son.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. There you go. I'm sure you're a great father. You know, you got that kind of no nonsense look to you, you know, making sure he's growing up strong and right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
Oh, you're welcome.
Ranger, very much for your time. Much appreciated.
No problem. Y'all have a good. Hey, any trouble? Just give me a holler. I'll be here.
Yeah, we've got the walkies on your channel. What's the range
And
on
we've
these
got our
things? Or
water.
are we gonna?
And the tote bag is just full of random crap.
Oh, you should be fine. The distance you're going, you should be all right.
That sounds great. Thank you again. And she
fella-
kind of extends a hand to shake the hand to try to make this a formal end to this interaction.
He shakes it and he just kind of holds on to it. He's like, hey, and be careful down there. That there device you got in your hand now. Like, that's not like sheriff's department stuff. The old, that Dr. Marshall there, he got some of that for us, some of the higher tech, from whatever company he's working for. So just be careful with that, all right? Because we got to return it. We don't want him to, bill us for nothing. Okay?
We'll bring it back.
All right, then. Have a good hike. And you all, till you take off. Okay.
He's fantastic.
Oh my god. Okay.
I could
we
literally
would all
talk
die
about
for
that.
Ranger Sam. Like, we're all agreed, right?
I love that he knows so much about kids media.
It's just randomly coming up. Anyhow, he was fun. I like him.
Does that count as killing a horse in our campaign if you brought it up?
Oh.
What the hell,
done.
Jeff?
I had a phase where many horses did not.
Lots of fantasy games.
Did not survive
Horses just
our
didn't,
old
do well.
D&D and Zweihander.
I think that counts for the bingo board. If you have it, mark it.
Amazing.
I still remember the first time I investigated a horse that had passed away, not by our doing, and then I suddenly was infested with this stuff. All of these like bugs. Oh goodness.
Okay, we're gonna cut back to the farmhouse. We'll start inside the green box, if that's what it actually is. Chopra and Weaver, you're back. Do you want to do anything more? This is, and I want to stress that this is all taking time. Like, you're like looking through things, carefully treating things, kind of being careful with everything. So, anything else you want to look through in here?
Not Weaver. She's gonna head up, and at this point, she's done with it.
Yeah, Chopra as well, but is going to solicit help from Weaver because she wants to take the stuff she's found.
Okay, so you're taking the
big lead
audio reels
can thing and the audio things.
Okay, got it.
Do you, and like, as you're asking Weaver this, she's like, do you even have anything to like use these?
I can I'm sure I can put something together, right? We'll figure it out. I'd rather have it and not be able to use it than not have it.
All right. And then let's see. I think Inferno. Did you take anything with you? Did you take the photograph or the monogram?
Yeah, the monogram. I took.
Monograph. Okay, got it. And then Weaver, are you taking any of the VHS tapes or the suitcase?
Took Inferno.
Okay, just the one.
The one
okay,
movie. Yeah.
got it. All right. And then you only looked at the brand. Okay. Just want to keep track of stuff. All right. So the two of you start taking stuff out of here and loading it into your car. Meanwhile, Inferno, you've left. So you're going to go over to the farmhouse. You knock on the door?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a knock. Yeah, I'm not going to barge.
Okay. 3 seconds go by, door opens, and you see an elderly woman, very slender, dark rings under her eyes. You can see that she's got, her skin is kind of very tight to her bones in places and sags in others. She's of an age, kind of that gray hair, but also has that kind of not quite white coloring to it. It almost has, like, in some places, like a sepia tone in its own way, like it's kind of fading here and there. And she looks up at you. Are you with them?
Yes, I came with them. We're just here to tell you that we're about to leave. Thanks for having us.
Not that I had a choice. They came breaking into my home. Did you know that?
Oh, they didn't tell me about that. That's horrible.
They broke into my home. They woke up poor Donald. You know how long it took me to put him back to sleep?
Donald, he's your husband.
Yes.
You guys doing okay out here?
We're doing fine until today when your little looky-loos came poking around our home, upsetting everything.
We should have reprimanded him about that.
Oh,
thanks
I
for the
did.
drink.
What drink?
I brought it back. You didn't leave the lemonade.
Do I look like a woman who would make lemonade for a bunch of folks who broke into my home? At that, Inferno, roll a sand test.
Oh, no.
shit.
53, I failed.
All right. Do you want to push this off? You're going to take some.
I'm going to take some. Yeah, let's do that.
It's a D4, and you're going to be taking 4.
Willpower, okay.
Okay.
I have to roll
Wow.
a D6, I think? Or
Okay.
D4.
It's a D. So you roll a D4. You spend that amount of willpower, and that's how much you reduce the 4-point loss.
Right. Oh, only a 1.
Okay. So you still take 3 sand. And who is that going to go towards? Who do you think?
Let's see what I got. Let's just keep harming the pizzeria, why not?
Okay. And I think is it going to trigger your hydro?
Not yet.
You have a
I'm 3 off of breakpoint. Oh, disorder?
No, this is whenever you hit 2, it does an acute episode of your disorder. Remember that?
Okay. Oh,
So it's not a breaking point. So it's this is just an acute episode. So what we can say is your mouth becomes extraordinarily dry, like to the point where like you're almost sort of choking. Like you feel no moisture whatsoever in your mouth. Your tongue is sandpaper. Your teeth begin to ache. Your gums kind of start to split, and you can taste blood in your mouth as like you have this weird lens effect where it almost looks like she's just pulling farther and farther and farther away from you as she tells you with no joke whatsoever that she didn't bring you anything. And you still had at that moment the taste of the lemonade in your mouth. You brought a sandwich with you, and you look down, and in your hand there is in fact 2 bites, maybe we'll say, out of a triangle shaped tuna fish sandwich on white bread.
I dropped the glass out of my hand. It was crashing to the ground.
What'd you go and do that for? What the hell's wrong with you?
I start trying to hurl out what I just ate
Hey,
on her
what?
porch.
What? Get, young man, get that. What? Hi, you. And she sees Chopra and Weaver coming out with like boxes over to the car. Your fellow over here is having some sort of panic attack. Get him off my property now. She gets like really raspy and angry as she says that. And you guys see like Inferno's like grabbing his neck and coughing and choking, and you can see like he's like you can hear the crunch of him stepping on glass. He's starting to swirl around right there on the stoop. What do you do?
I mean, Weaver's gonna come over and come like help and collect him.
Okay.
Do you
Chopper's
have
going to the
anything-
car to put the stuff in the car.
Yeah. Do you have a broom or something I can help clean this up for you?
I'll take care of it. Just get him out of here.
Okay. And she'll like throw his arm over her shoulder. And didn't she say like this stuff was on the hood of the car?
What do you mean? What stuff?
Where was the food? Like the platter?
No, it was on a bench outside,
Got
like
it.
in the garage. When he climbed up, it was on a workbench in the garage. Weaver, what's your alertness?
33.
Okay. Roll alertness plus 20.
Okay. Fail 63.
Okay. You when you look down, you can see that the stoop, which when you and Chopra came over here, it was dry, dusty. It is soaking wet. Like it's like someone took a hose to it. And you can feel like the beams, the floorboards kind of sag a bit as you're standing on top of it. And there's obviously shattered glass and such here and there, but definitely the amount of liquid on here doesn't correspond to a tall boy glass of lemonade.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Get him off my property. Throwing glass everywhere. He's gonna wake up Donald again.
I'm so sorry. And
He is in a very fragile state. He cannot be woken up like this so frequently. Now get out of here.
okay. And she's like looking for Chopra, and I'm gonna quickly get him in the car, and I want to go back to see if that stuff is still out there.
Okay, yeah. You bring him over. Chopra, you're still loading stuff up, we'll say.
Yeah, getting the car, starting the car, doing...
Getting it ready. Yeah, everything you guys wanted to take, you could take. No problem. Inferno, you get led over. You're still choking. You still... This paste has begun to grow in your mouth. Like this dryness. It's like you just ate sand.
Yeah, I'm looking for water. Just chugging as much as I can.
There's definitely water in the car.
Okay. Inferno, you grab the water. Maybe it's like in a hydro flask or something like that. You go to start pouring. Oh, it tastes horrific. It tastes salty. And when you pour it out, you see that this darkened seawater spills out on the ground in front of you. You can see these tiny little flecks of seaweed and such just flop down on the ground in front of you. And even a small little minnow begins to flop around, and you just taste salt. Weaver, roll a sand test as you see this.
Yeah. 70 fail.
Okay. Weaver, do you want to push this off? It's going to be 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Just remember, the more sand you take, the harder it is to pass sand test. So
Yeah.
generally,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it becomes sort of like a spiral. So like if you can push it
Like
off while you still have
Long
bonds.
and his 26 sand.
So Chopra, you're like, you reach back, maybe you hand this, he's getting a drink, Weaver's trying to help him into the car, and the two of them are just staring and freaking out about something that's happening outside. Like you can see like Weaver's face just freezes. Inferno starts to cough even further. Do you do anything, Chopra?
Yeah, she wheels around to see what the hell's going on.
You can see on the ground, the hydro flask has fallen from Inferno's grasp and it's laying there on the ground. There is a kind of a darkened puddle of water. It's like a gravelly, sandy driveway that you parked in, and you can just see it's just kind of getting muddy. But, Chopra, you don't see a little piece of seaweed. You don't see a flopping minnow. You don't see anything like that. You just see he's spilt.
What the hell, guys? And get out and pick up. You alright?
No, I need water, please.
She'll like shove the bottle at him again.
No, it's water.
And
This
like
is water.
Weaver kind of goes the opposite direction. Instead of like, she's like looking up at the sky expecting a storm, and is kind of like nervously like looking for shelter. She runs into the area where like the garage where the the safe house was or whatever, and she doesn't go down because if water fills up she'd drown, but she's in there, she's taking cover, like almost like she's remembering the hurricane. And I did push it off onto her best friend Millie Dobbs.
Okay. So you just rush off. You just leave Inferno kind of standing there, the door open, choking, the one hydro flask on the ground, water spilt onto the ground. Inferno is still choking. Chopra, I mean, I think you probably have no idea what's happening right now.
No, I'm trying to pick up the bottle and just give it to Inferno, and I see Weaver run off. I'm like, where the hell are you going? We have to leave.
And Weaver, you're like peeking out. You're looking up at the sky. It is beautiful and bright and blue. And then you suddenly hear Chopra scream. And then you hear,
Get off my property!
and you see standing on the actual stoop, on the porch, there is that gnarly, skinny old woman. She's got a flower-like apron on, and she's got a big-ass shotgun in her hand. And she's pointing it off vaguely in your directions.
Yeah, I once that's kind of what snaps Weaver back into reality.
Sure.
And she heads back, and she if he's actually choking and she needs the Heimlich, she'll perform that. Otherwise, she just gets Luca into the back seat. She crawls in with him and then just tells Chopra to get in and drive.
Yeah, where I'm in like getaway cardboard already. So that's what Chopra's been doing while these guys are getting back in the car.
You peel out, and it's probably about a half a mile or a mile, Inferno, before you start to feel the moisture return to your mouth. You're still parched. Like it still feels like your tongue is sandpaper. It still feels like you have the world's worst sore throat. Your voice is probably still a little croaky, but you can start to feel the saliva begin to recirculate.
Any water?
Yeah, and Weaver reaches into her purse and she pulls out her like hydro flask or whatever.
Sure. Take off a second, you hand it over. Inferno, you take a swig from it.
And she's like watching him to see if the same shit happens, like intensely staring and waiting.
Okay.
Thank you.
You take the drink and it goes down just fine. Tastes like water. It's fresh. It's kept cool. Brought to you by Hydro Flask. All that kind of stuff.
It's been cold for 3 days.
Yeah. Not that Stanley stuff with all the lead.
How long have we been out there?
Good question.
Couple hours, I think.
Yeah.
Let's group up with the others.
Okay. So, say the three of you drive off. And we will cut back to the others, Price and Carr, who are off going for a hike. So, you still have, you have, like, you said you wrote and sketched out the specifics of Nick's location. Did you bring a GPS device with you?
That would have been a good idea. However, Vin did not do that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to need then a navigate test from either one of you. As you try to, using what you have read and learned and maybe reviewed of some of the data, the little bits of local knowledge that the ranger gave you, give me a navigate test, one of you.
I'll go ahead and make that. I'll take a 2-player boost, so I'm looking for a 70.
Okay.
Okay, I have a 10 as I non-verbally communicated to Steven.
I thought you were saying 1 because it was flipped.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
28 under 70.
Okay. You manage to, without too much difficulty, even though you don't have like GPS, you head off in kind of this vague easternly direction. He kind of points, he would point and kind of, there's a vague trail here and there, but it's not well marked. So it's very easy to kind of lose it here and there. But at a certain point, you see the finger. You see that structure, right? That thing that we're talking about. And it takes maybe 40 minutes to get there. Both of you roll a con ×5. As the heat begins to beat down on you, did either one of you take advantage of the floppy hat that Ranger Gus suggested?
No,
Yes.
I'm working on my tan.
Carr, you're wearing a big old cowgirl hat? Because that's what he had. Okay, you can take a plus 10% on this roll.
Sweet.
Hell yes.
That's a 39 under 70.
Okay, good to go. Price?
Have I mentioned how ill-prepared Price was for this hike?
Yeah.
I was looking for a 45. I rolled a 95.
Okay.
It's all those energy drinks and like cigarettes that you're smoking with your no hat.
I've been smoking for the first hour.
The 45 minutes that it takes to kind of get here probably accounts for maybe taking a wrong turn once or twice and then eventually making it there. But Carr, reduce yourself, lose 1 willpower. As it's just heat, it's just tired. You're just tired. It's just hot.
Sure.
It's the height of the summer. And Price, you lose a D4. 3. You lose 3 willpower points as it is by the time you get there. Now, somewhere along the way, we'll probably say maybe like if Price is leading the way, he very much sees the structure in I keep calling it a structure. It's a rock formation. It's not a structure. And once or twice, Price, you just for some reason your alertness is so high, you're on edge, like you're on a mission, you know what's happening, every now and then you just see a flutter of movement out of your peripheral vision. And you go to look and you don't see anything. And you go to look again and you don't see anything. And it happens like a good 10 minutes. And then the closer you get to this formation, you start to see more of those things in the corner of your eyes. Except this time they linger a little bit longer. You see, it almost looks like people, like figures moving about. Kind of, maybe it's the train playing tricks with you. Maybe it's the heat. And then and then you get a little bit closer, and then you turn, and you can start to see that it almost looks like some of them are hiding behind like boulders here or there, or a stunted Joshua tree or something like that. And it's like you're just kind of looking left and right, like you're like a sprinkler head here and there. And every now and then you catch one there, and then it sort of disappears, and there's another over there, like shadow, a figure, person, an animal. It's hard to really figure out exactly what it is.
Always in different spots?
Yeah, always in different spots.
So, failing my contest, Vin would be bitching like crazy about this hike, complaining. He wouldn't mention his son, but you can definitely tell he's got a grudge against college kids that don't know anything and are coming out in the middle of nowhere, getting lost, making everyone else, have to take care of them, that kind of thing. Not being very empathetic to the actual situation. And he's continually bitching this whole time, but he pauses consistently, like mid-sentence here and there. And you just see him like squinting off at the distance time after time after time, where he just like trails off. And then he just picks up starting over again, complaining the whole time.
Agent Price, what? Like, I don't mind the talk, and it makes the time pass on faster, so feel free to complain all you want, but what are you, you just keep stopping?
I think my eyes are playing tricks on me.
I mean, drinking energy drinks is not necessarily the best way for hydration, but what do you think you are seeing?
Vin looks you straight in the eye and then reaches into the tote bag and grabs another can and cracks it open. I don't know what I'm seeing. It looks like there are people out there.
Oh, like over that way?
Just feel like I'm being watched.
Well, we can maneuver a little bit more, and so like Carr was really just sort of going towards, like, we see the finger up ahead, so just kind of looking in that direction. And so she would kind of, with this information, kind of slow her pace a bit and try to like keep her head on the swivel and see if she can see the same things that Agent Price is seeing.
Agent Carr, do you have what's your alertness? We'll do this as alertness.
50.
Because if he thinks it's danger, okay. Roll it. Give me a roll.
Okay. 89.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
I would have passed with an 89.
But I get to improve my alertness later. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just animals or something. They're quick. But I'm not seeing anything.
And that's what I said. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Don't worry about it. Goddamn college kids. I got 18 blisters already. We're only an hour in.
I mean, they're not the real reason why we're here, though. We're doing our job. If we find them, we find them, but that's not actually why we're here.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Nothing important. You want to like alternate a energy drink and a bottle of water? Can trade that off a little bit.
I'm good. I'm not thirsty.
That's great. And she really was not at all phased with you complaining. So like you can keep complaining and it just passes the time for her. And so she's good. She's not really responding to you.
There is definitely a point where you realize like there's a personal vendetta against college kids coming out right now.
Okay.
Yep.
You get to this rock formation, and the middle finger is probably about 15 feet in terms of height. And you can see the other bumps, and it does vaguely resemble a hand flipping the bird. There's no like thumb kicking out to the side, but the other like knuckles you can see are about 6 feet or so. And it's almost perfectly straight up. It's fairly, the finger is fairly girthy. It's very sausage finger like in terms of its width. But there's no one else here currently, but you definitely would both see there's signs of people having passed. And you can see like hiking boots and things like that. You know that there are still scattered search parties and things that are out here right now. So it's probably not the most alarming thing in the world. But you can see that someone has sort of set up what looks like a couple larger boulders nearby for people to sit down as maybe part of the trail. Like they sit, they get a drink, they look at this. There's not a ton of shade, but you do see some of these stunted Joshua trees here and there, and they kind of cast a little bit of shade if you sit behind them the right way, but it's not much. What do you guys want to do?
I would like to sit for a moment, have a smoke, and I am wearing my sunglasses that I always carry with me, and I'd like to be just scanning the horizon, looking for more tricks that might be my eye might be picking up.
We'll call this one a search test since you're actively searching for something.
Just barely a fail. 62 over 50.
Okay. Just looking on the horizon. You're looking at some of the rocks. You're looking at some of the distant craggy hills. You're looking amongst the sort of the shrubbery, the forested desert shrubbery. You see a handful of like animals and such skirt around, a lizard here or there. You see maybe a bird swoop from one tree to another. But you don't see any people. In the far distance, you do see almost something like off to the east, something reflect. Like it's like the sun is reflecting off of like a mirror or a piece of glass or a chrome shiny piece of metal, and it creates this like singular line that just sort of sweeps up. It's almost like a lens flare as you're looking, and then it fades.
Carr, how do you feel about going off trail for a bit, trying to find some maze?
I think we might as well. And she's been kind of hovering a little bit behind, and she's kind of thinking back through kind of what was discussed, and she's gonna, unscientifically as this would be, she's just gonna kind of be standing in the area and just sort of kind of almost close her eyes a little bit, and she's just kind of like, Emily? Michael? And just kind of runs through the names of the people that have yet to be found. And it's just...
When you open your eyes and you look off in the distance, you see a sort of a silhouette of a figure. It looks human, you think. You can barely see it the way the sun's coming at it. It's all silhouette. It's all black. The head is not right. And you see, as you're watching it, it's already kind of starting to fade and just dissipate. It's like a floater in your eye. You see an arm raise and just point. And before the arm finishes stretching, the whole floater, that black silhouette, just fades from view. Roll a sand test.
Oh, goodness. Success, 21 under 49.
You keeping it together.
Yeah, Price, you mentioned going off, and so she'll point in the direction that the figure was starting to point.
I had already started off going a few steps east where the flare was.
Seems to be going in a very similar direction that your little shadow was pointing.
Yes, this direction it is, and she'll make sure we picked up everything and we didn't litter or anything like that, and she'll
Two cigarette butts out there.
Okay.
Not anymore. She.
Okay. I need another navigate test.
I got this. No dice this time. Let's just.
No extras? You are
No.
rolling dice. You're not just making up numbers.
No,
right?
I'm sorry. No boost this time. Yeah, I'm not
Like,
gonna roll.
I'm
I
just
just
gonna
passed.
throw a
I
number.
passed.
I'm just going to tell you the number I want to roll. 33. Crit fail.
47 under 50.
Look at
Ooh.
you. Okay. Okay. So
Never gonna
you-
improve
you-
like this.
You get a good bead on where you think you're going. You like where that line sort of reflected for a bit. Now I need both of you to give me another con times 5 test as you are trekking a little off trail, heading further east, a little bit more straight east as opposed to veering kind of southeasternly the way you think you're supposed to have gone. But both of you give me a con times 5, and you can take that plus 10 car from having the floppy hat, the big cowgirl
Oh, thank
hat.
goodness I passed. Then it's
Okay.
68 under 70 because of the plus 10. Otherwise, it was a fail.
Look at that.
yeah.
Floppy hat
Ranger
for the
Gus,
win.
or no, Ranger, what the hell's his name?
Sam.
Ranger Sam to
Sam.
the win. 1 point of willpower lost from you, Carr. Again, it's not about 45 minutes a walk or so.
Yep,
Price.
Yeah, needed 45, rolled a 72.
Attaboy. You're going to die out
I
here.
get so excited. I fail the rolls I can't improve, too. That's the worst part.
2 more points of willpower loss for old Price.
I'm down to 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
I might pass out soon.
Just drink some damn water.
The wind kicks up significantly. You get these like the gusts of crosswinds. You see the little bit of like desert shrubbery kind of sways around a bit. You can see chunks of sand just whip up into the air and kind of slap into your faces a bit. Hot sand that just gets into your eyes and on your clothes. Price, you hear as the wind courts through you, you hear it kind of lingers like somebody's mouth is right up against your ear and they're whispering into it. And you hear first a woman's voice, and she's just and then you hear what sounds like kind of a crackly something, like something's, it's like a recording, but it's a man's voice this time, and it's you're not like, you don't recognize it. It sounds distant. It's not like fully clear by any stretch of the imagination, but you hear the voice say, October 5th, 1970. Time 1400 hours, I think. Can you understand me? Can you communicate? And then the wind instantly drops, and you literally see sand just kind of fall vertically. Price, give me a sand test.
Oh boy.
32 under 40.
Okay. Keeping it together. But that was a little unnerving.
Holy crap.
Carr, you would see that Price stopped walking when the wind and the sand was really happening. And he cocked his head to the side, and you could tell that he was looking around for a sound, something. He was obviously searching for something. And then after a moment, he immediately quickly reaches for the radio and puts it up to his ear and starts messing with the dials, trying to turn it up, puts it up to his ear, and then calls out, "This is Special Agent Price, come in. Special Agent Price, come in."
You hear this is on the radio, right?
The walkie-talkie.
Hey there, Agent. This is Ranger Sam. Y'all all right out there?
Yeah, we're fine. Did you hear that over the radio?
Oh, I heard you just loud and clear, just fine. These are pretty good.
No,
radios.
the other person. I was picking up some sort of signal.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get nothing. You're the first thing I heard in about 20 minutes or so.
Was your radio on?
Oh yeah, I got to keep it on, of course. That would. What's the point of radio? You don't keep it on.
Do you monitor multiple channels?
Well, no, I'm just monitoring 7. That's what all the search teams are going to be. Pretty much everyone can hear you, by the way, right now. Everything you're saying.
With that, I just put the radio down. I don't even respond.
Okay.
I don't want to talk anymore.
All right.
Carr will go pick the radio up. Thanks,
I don't
Sam.
set it
Appreciate
down on the
it.
ground.
Okay.
I'm not leaving it in the desert.
So, Carr, as you look at him, and you see him it come down to his side. You look down to the ground behind him, and you can see that there are these stones that seem to be flanking what looks to be a small path. Just a handful of feet behind him. Small stone on one side of it, small stone on the other, small stone on one side. And as you maybe gently push him to the side so you can look past him, what you see in front of you is what looks to be a series of these irregular winding paths that are delineated by borders of dirt that have been kind of scooped up from the path, kind of creating this small little wall and outlined by these stones. It's about 15 yards across and roughly circular. And from this angle, when you're looking up and a little down towards it, it just looks like this circuitous winding path in a 15-yard diameter, or 15-yard radius. Roughly circular, and it just looks like this flattened stretch of land, and it looks like a maze.
Nice.
Yeah, did you hear that too?
I don't know about that, but you went too far. Turn around.
And I turn around and I look.
It's path.
And you see it as well.
Some could say, and as she points in the direction that it goes, a maze?
Don't get cocky. And I start heading that direction.
Okay. So you're 2 steps from it, and you can, as you kind of get on the opening, the entrance, you start walking, and you realize the path starts to branch. It's very much a maze. So if you all would like to try to navigate it, the two of you give me a navigate.
Hold on
we
now.
have
And
Go ahead.
Carr's gonna get out her notebook, and so you just see she's gonna turn to a fresh page, and she's gonna start. We're not just gonna go and forget how we turned around. So she's gonna be kind of methodical about this. So she's gonna, you're gonna see her kind of with a notebook, before you step, hold on. And so she's gonna kind of start making some notes about this as we go.
Okay. That's fine.
And we'll always turn right for as long as we can.
Where was the left-hand path? Roll and navigate. And you need to do it separately.
Everyone says left, but I'm a right.
Unless so you would need separate navigate rolls.
Oh gosh darn, I've got a 10 in navigate. I don't want to roll this.
It's okay.
That map is awful. It's just chicken scratch.
It's about the quality of a map that I
She draws the finger. Just flicking around.
15 under 50 again.
Okay. Carr, how'd you do?
25 over 10.
Okay. So the two of you, there's no barriers, there's no pits, there's no obstructions. It's literally just a scooped up bits of sand. That's a very small, couple inches tall embankment on either side and some stones, and then branching paths that all move around. And you can see though that there is a very clear center with these stones. That's the point. And Agent Price, you follow it, and you make a left, you make a right, and then a right, and you realize you have to make a left, and then it almost looks like you get caught at one point, possibly retracing your steps. You look back, and at some point, Carr stepped the wrong way, and Carr, you come to what looks like a dead end. You can just see the stones just come up and stop your forward path. And so you have to turn around and kind of start over and try to retrace your steps. But Price, you find yourselves moving and spiraling around, and you're on one side of the maze, and then you have to go all the way back to the other, but you're following this path. At no point are you stopped until you find the center. Go ahead and roll POW times 5.
Asking for all my good attributes tonight. Oh, that's cocked. But the other one was 10 anyway, so it didn't matter too much.
It's a family show. How'd you do?
14 under 50.
You're standing here, and you made it. Kind of looking at Carr, kind of fumble here and there, and like step and move, and kind of looks like she's almost cutting. She seems to have kind of screwed up hers. But then you get that figure in the corner of your eye again, and you look nearby on the just on the outskirts of the maze. Like there's a small little burn, a little bump, and you see there's a figure standing there. And again, the way the sun is hitting it, like you can't. It's not hitting it from the front, so it almost looks darkened and silhouetted. It's a humanoid shape, except the head does not look right. It does not look humanoid. And you see an arm lift and point southeast. And then instantly, doesn't fade, vanishes.
I feel like I want to stop passing my rolls now.
Car's just too busy taking notes, so she keeps she's messed up the scale, so she just keeps having to turn around, and she's focused too much on taking notes and finding her way across.
Carr.
Price, yes, what?
It's this way. And I start walking southeast.
Okay. So.
All right. Give me a second. Let me get there.
Notably ceased bitching about college kids too. Very focused at this point.
All right. 2 of you head southeast. We're going to cut back to Chopra, Inferno, and Weaver, who at this point you've made it back to Kingman proper. You have re-wet your mouth. You feel better, Inferno. What are the 3 of you doing? We're going to put this at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. What would you like to do?
Do we... So presumably we're having this conversation as we stopped at a McDonald's or something to eat lunch.
Stopped at McDonald's.
What's that face?
Everybody roll sand. No.
Roll con.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what do you do?
So what are we thinking? Do we meet back up with Carr? They should have been back by now. I thought that they were just going to interview the ranger.
No, it looks like they're on a hike right now. Might be too late to catch up.
I'm gonna mess with that audio stuff and see if I can get it to play. At the very least, if I spend some time with it, I should be able to figure out what kind of equipment we need.
You could easily hit I'm not sure if they have the equivalent of a Radio Shack. Basically, you can hit even a pawn shop might have some stuff, but all you have to do is there's a handful of bits of equipment. You would know what you need to get. It's not hard, but it's not probably too expensive. But it does require.
If that's the case, then that's what I'm going to say that I would like to do is I'd like to give that stuff a listen.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what Chopra wants to do. What about the 2 of you?
I'm thinking of heading to the trailhead. Want to come with?
Yeah, sure. Which spot did you want to hit up?
It's where they started.
Oh, okay. We're catching up. Understood. Got it.
Okay. Presumably, I would think Carr and Price, did you text and let them know that you were doing the hike? Okay, I just want to make sure. I know we sometimes
head out in the desert without anyone knowing. Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
Ranger Sam knows. How much can you
Weaver
really
did
trust
did get a radio herself to keep up. That's already programmed to channel 7.
I think you got it from the sheriff. Yeah, I think you and Chopra got one. Excuse me.
at that point, now that she figures that they've gone out, she'll flip hers on as well, so she's also listening to the same channel.
Okay. And periodically you just get like a check-in. Like it's like there's not like constant chatter. It's just a check-in from one team, like team A, team B, team C, etc. Like, all clear, nothing, all clear, nothing, all clear, nothing, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of sounding off here and there. Okay. So
while we are sitting around, before we disperse, Chopra is going to ask Inferno, find anything interesting in that folder?
Oh, the death threats.
Yeah.
They don't like her, that's for sure.
Well, we got that far. Was there anything else?
Yeah, some of it seems fabricated. Something about some space bill.
What? And instantly, that gets Chopra's attention because she's with Lockheed. And so it's like, what?
I don't really remember it, but it was something about a bill or
can you show me what you're looking at? Can you show me what you're looking at in the folder?
Yeah, you can have
okay. So if he points this out to you, Chopra, you see that what he's referring to is the SNDIM Act, which is Strategic National Defense Infrastructure Modernization Act, which seems to be going through the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations. And there's a question of whether it's going to make it through the subcommittee to the floor to be voted on without making any sort of changes. And it does seem that Karras is on that subcommittee and might be holding up the process of it. And it vaguely seems it just has to do with funding. It's defense funding. So it's all about like an expansion of various defense and intelligence facilities, listening facilities, that kind of thing.
Is there, obviously not with deltagreen, but with her working at Lockheed and them doing so much military and defense shit, is this anything she has any familiarity with, like out of her in her real life?
So you work for Skunk Works, I think.
I do.
Is that correct? So they work
no, it's totally reasonable. I just
no. I'm just trying to I just want to walk through it because we don't know a ton about Chopra yet. So you work at the Skunk Works. You would know that they do frequently work with various sort of advanced development programs with the Air Force. So there's a lot of they definitely have a close working relationship. So this specific bill, as far as you know, isn't on Lockheed's, there isn't a project that Lockheed is specifically waiting on funding for. And there isn't.
Okay.
Yeah. But you would know, generally speaking, that there are various defense contracts that are granted to different private organizations. And likely the holdup is that the funding going to some of these defense projects is probably there's some kind of like political jockeying and like whether or not enough money is changing hands or who is bidding on the contracts, that kind of stuff.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's really what I was getting at is, was there any involvement in this bill specifically that Chopra knows about? And it seems like the answer is no, but from an industry perspective, maybe she's familiar with it, like, vaguely.
I think you would probably recognize the language, like the name of the bill, certainly the subcommittee, all of that is like stuff that like it registers. You understand what they do. And sometimes like your company is at the mercy of, acts and bills like this. Like sometimes, absolutely. And so, like when you're bidding on various contracts and things, of course, that pops up. But you would know that your company, at least as far as you're aware, like they're not on like there's no program that's on the chopping block or that your company is currently going after.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Okay. So we'll say then that Chopra, you can get into town. Kingman's kind of got like there's a vibe to Kingman. It's kind of like an old town, downtown area, like that still has that sort of vibe. So it's like walkable in many respects, Chopra, and you could probably easily like walk around, find like a store or a pawn shop that might have some of what you're looking for, while Inferno and Weaver take the car north up to the trailhead. So we can go ahead and say maybe you get dropped off, maybe you look around, and you kind of hunt down some of that equipment.
Make sure you grab a VHS player, Chopra, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Find a pawn shop or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Weaver and Inferno, you make it to the trailhead. You can get the directions, no problem. And when you get there, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe, because you guys said you stopped for lunch or whatever. Then you dropped off Chopra or helped her out, maybe helped her a little bit to find a place and dropped her off there, or whatever it might be. So let's say you get there around 3 o'clock. So just for our player perspective. So what we just saw happen with Carr and Price is around the time that Inferno and Weaver show up. And when Inferno and Weaver show up at Trailhead, you see that there's Ranger Sam, and he's like talking to Price, and he says, "Yeah, everyone can kind of hear this right now, right?" And then there's no response from Price, and then he sees, "Oh, hey there, how y'all doing today? Is there something I can help you with?"
Hey, afternoon there. We're Inferno and Davis.
Inferno and Davis.
FBI agents.
FBI.
Carr, I think you met them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we got 2 years already out on the trail right now. An Agent Price and a lovely woman by name Agent Carr.
Yeah, we're looking to catch up with them. I think they got far.
Okay, sure. Now, any of y'all have hiking experience? You ever been out, outdoors, folks and such?
I've been to a park, but much of the city boy.
Yeah, you got a city boy look to you. I can tell you that's for sure. I was thinking the same thing. Now, here's what you're gonna do. Let me go ahead and get you some waters. Let me get you some hats. The sun's gonna beat down on you. So he kind of comes over and he's like putting these big old hats on your heads. These like big old cowboy hats. Like they don't really fit white, and you can tell somebody else was probably using it at some point. Kind of fills up these bags with waters and things. And then he I see you already got yourself some radio. Aren't these nice? It's really nice, And he's like, so what they were planning on doing, they were following that the Karras' boy. They were kind of heading out trying to see if they can track down some of their locations, their locales that they're looking for, and they were heading for that there finger. Now, what you want to do is you just want to head vaguely in that direction. Okay, you see right there, east-northeasternly for a bit. There's a little bit of trail right here. It can kind of get you started. Now, be careful now. It's very easy to lose track of that thing because it kind of disappears here and there, but you pick it up again. Y'all got GPS?
Yeah, we have all that.
Okay, perfect. Well, you're way more prepared than your partners. You'll probably catch up on them in no time. We might lose them too, to be honest with you, which is a shame, to be honest. They seem like good people. They seem like good people. Anyhow, I'm just joking. Well, I'm sure they'll be fine.
We'll holler if we can't find them.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, anything else I can do for you?
No, thank you so much.
All right, then. You be careful now. Just give me a ring if you got any problems. We're on Channel 7. Okay.
Already on it. Thank you.
I need a navigate test from one of the two of you to try to find your way to the finger.
Okay.
I have a 30.
Okay, not bad.
I'm blind. I have a 10. So please navigate us. Inferno.
Okay.
I'll go for it.
All right, that a boy.
A 16. There we go.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Nice.
Sure. And because you're using GPS, you would have gotten plus 20 on that roll, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
So it's still a pass. Okay.
We're so stereotypical of women in our low navigate scores. How did we make characters like this?
You can get lost in your own pantry. That's what it is. Just kind of turn around, where'd everybody go? All right. I need both of you to make con times 5 tests as the heat beats down on the two of you during the trek. And you can see for a while very clear boot prints, and definitely the types of shoe wear you shouldn't be wearing on a hike. So somebody, probably Price, is wearing something they shouldn't. I don't know about Carr, but certainly not Price. How'd you two do?
Rolled a 91, so I'm really dehydrated a bit earlier into the trek. I have to down the whole bottle. Hold on a moment.
Okay. Jeez, man. That's going to be 3 points of willpower loss as
man.
maybe a bit of heat exhaustion just gets you. You're 30 minutes into the trek. You're almost all the way. You can actually see that finger and you know where you're going. However, you're just, God, you're not feeling great. How'd you do, Weaver?
Crit success, 44.
Okay, crit success. I'm gonna say no willpower loss at all. Then you feel you're young. You're young.
She actually bought some of the hiking gear, so she's got like a camelback of water.
Mm-hmm.
Her hiking boots are on. Yeah.
She's got a little straw coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Okay. So Inferno's doing the navigation. And you're kind of following away. You can tell Inferno's kind of once or twice you just see him sort of veer a little bit off the trail, left or right or whatever. And then Inferno, when you kind of get your wits back to you, look down at the GPS, and the display looks strange. That ain't right. You had the satellite photos, kind of the various, the coordinates. You have things kind of marked off, programmed in probably from Nick Karras' old GPS. You can literally program it in. There's no problem. Why Price didn't want to do that? I don't know. But you definitely can do that. And you can see though, your GPS is going nuts. It's going haywire. Something's kind of messed up. Showing the wrong coordinates. You're looking down, you're seeing where you're going, but then you can see where you're at. And you are not where you're supposed to be. You look down, you look up, and you're in the desert. You see Weavers behind you. You can see up that way is that rock formation. But these numbers would put you on the other side of the world.
I'll radio in. Ranger Sam, you confirm our location.
Sure. I'm
not given the coordinates I see. Maybe a landmark or two.
No, I think you might be reading your GPS wrong there, Agent Inferno. That ain't quite right. That would put you that would put you in Antarctica, son.
Well, we're certainly in the desert still.
Well, technically, Antarctica's kind of like a desert, too. It's just kind of different kind, It's a common misconception, you see, that when folks think of deserts, they get kind of that, Lawrence of Arabia kind of vibe. They just think there's going to be, sand dunes and things. So we kind of have to dispel that a lot. As a park ranger, we deal with all sorts of various topography and geography and all sorts of things like that. But anyhow, different kind of desert, but it's a desert nonetheless.
Thanks for the fact. But can you confirm? We might be lost.
No, I can confirm you are not in Antarctica. Yes, sir.
All right, let me just ring-jingle this for a bit.
Okay, well, you make sure you drink some of that water. Hey, and did you say Agent Davis? Is that what you gave him?
Yeah, so my FBI name is Special Agent Alice Davis.
Okay. All right. Agent Davis, can you kind of just do a quick little temperature check on him? Is he wearing his hat?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get him in the shade and have him rest for a bit. Thank you so much.
Go ahead and just take one of them bottles. Just put some water on his head and then put the hat back on top. That should probably cool him down a bit. Okay.
I think I have a handkerchief in my backpack, and she says that as obviously she doesn't click off, and she puts the thing back away, and she does get a handkerchief out, soaks it, and then puts it on your head, and then puts your hat on top of it.
Okay. It feels good, but you also get this sort of unsettling feeling as the water starts to drip down the back of your neck, your cheek. It just feels slimy. And it almost feels like it's kind of slithering a little bit in some ways. And then it smells very salty. Maybe it's the sweat, maybe it's not, but it's very, very salty.
I'm wiping that away. And then dealing with the GPS device, smacking it around, see if it fixes itself.
Okay. And then Price, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
Would we be able to hear that conversation on our radio?
You on 7?
Yeah, we're on 7.
Yeah, I never turned it off. I just didn't.
Absolutely. You hear that whole conversation. You even hear him kind of saying, "Oh yeah,
right
they're probably
about
going to die."
Would that be happening right about as we're like finishing the maze then? Because they were hiking for a bit first.
I would say it's probably
got-
you've already probably turned and turned southeast. You haven't quite reached the next destination, but you have started to move southeast. We'll say.
All right, I would just get on the radio and very briefly, Inferno, head to the finger, head east, hit the maze, hit southeast.
Affirmative.
Okay. All right. You guys get up to the finger. Do you linger by that rock formation, or do you just follow his advice?
He told us to go in one direction, so
Yeah, I presume they already checked it out, so we're just going to meet up.
You see, Price tried to leave a trail of cigarette butts for you all to follow, but Carr had to go and pick them up, so you could.
I'm glad she did.
Picking up all the breadcrumbs. Like,
Your hands and griddling it.
Navigate test. You're not going to get your bonus though, because you're kind of going off road and following Price's instructions as opposed to following Karras's thing to like the sisters and whatnot. So straight up navigate.
hey, 15 out of 30. It's still going good.
Look at you, man. The heat is significant, but you do find yourselves moving for a not insignificant amount of time. Another 45 minutes go by. I need give me contest from both of you again. Con times 5. The heat is just unbearable, unrelenting.
long your rolls.
It is ripping through me. 98.
Oh no, 93.
And
Oh my gosh.
oh man,
All right, Inferno, man, that's another 3. And then Weaver just 1. You're lucky.
Okay.
that was
Okay.
a break, wasn't it? Long.
No, this is willpower.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's.
fuck.
It is though.
What do you mean it is his break?
Wait, what?
How much willpower do you have?
I have 2. Is that a problem?
I think it's under
When
2.
he goes unconscious, it's 2.
Oh.
I thought that
I've done it many, many times.
Oh, really?
Oh, is it 8? Okay.
It's
I'm pretty
different
sure. I
between
could be
Delta
wrong.
Green and Call of Cthulhu. It's one of those things that we
No, that sounds
have
that
to look up.
It's what I was bouncing back and forth with throughout the last adventure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's at
No,
2.
I think you're right, but I'm just gonna double check.
Yeah,
really
because I
fast.
think I hit 2 when I was on the fire escape, and that's what knocked me down. Or no, that was health.
Yeah, I know with 2 HP you go unconscious, but willpower, that should be fine.
Yeah, with health at 1, you go unconscious.
let's
but I don't
double
know
check.
what is willpower.
An agent whose willpower hits 1 or 2 has an emotional breakdown. Okay, so you're right. It is health is 2,
Okay.
but the agent suffers a -20 penalty to all actions until willpower rises above 2. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for checking.
My bad.
Appreciate that. Okay, so how do you think that manifests? As you're traveling, it's really, really hot. What is this emotional breakdown? What does this look like for Inferno?
Weaver, I've had enough. I miss my family. Get me out of here.
I mean, we have to finish the mission, Dante. Inferno.
Dante, yeah. That's what my mom calls me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been really trying. I understand you're thirsty and you just want to get out of the sun. Heat stroke is no joke. Just sit down under this Joshua tree. It doesn't have much shade, but just try and cool down a little bit, and we'll keep going.
It's getting dark. It's late.
You can't just abandon the mission.
It's not getting dark. It might be for you, but it ain't really.
Yeah. You know, it's gonna be okay.
Okay. You sit, you catch your breath, you drink some water. Do you continue, or do you try to head back to the trailhead?
If I go any further, I'm gonna pass out.
Okay.
We set up camp out here. Is this capable?
Did you bring any?
Yeah,
we
I,
can't.
We stopped by shopping. We did a whole shopping episode. Do we not have
you
gear?
bring it with you with the intention.
It's in the car.
Oh,
It's in the
I
car.
very much remember that scene.
Seared into
I
memory.
almost deleted the channel because of it. So, do you think you would have brought your camping gear with you?
Yeah, it's in the
Honestly.
car.
Yeah.
Well, I had the
you have to go
intention of
back.
camping out here.
Okay. Tonight?
Well, is this the direction of the facility?
That's
general area?
It's you're in the general area. Like if you wanted to go to the coordinates for the facility, that's a little bit further, and you're probably better off taking like a vehicle.
A vehicle. Okay, then I wouldn't bring it.
Okay. All right.
yeah.
So then, do
I'm
you
gonna
push forward? Do you go
radio.
back?
Hang on, I don't actually pass out at 0, right? I just have huge penalties.
Minus 20
Negative-
penalty. You
minus
don't pass out.
20%.
I was wrong on that.
Okay.
I'll push through then.
All right then.
Cusack point though.
Oh, okay.
You could take the GPS and you could do navigates, but unless you're going to a specific known location on Karras's thing, like you don't actually get the bonus from it because like you're really just sort of getting generic descriptors from Price.
Well, we were told to go to Maze next. So
Well, that's the fun thing. As when you go and help Inferno up from where you had sit him down, Inferno, when you stand up and you're probably a little taller than Weaver and you look over her shoulder and you can see, well, on the ground right there behind her, just a few steps away, there is a path of like scooped up dirt, flanked on either side by stones, and like this little pathway. And you see this circuitous series of pathways on this relatively flat ground. All these stone marked paths moving this way and that way, right behind her.
Beaver, it's another way. Did you miss it?
another way, and she turns around and I think
maze.
we're already here at Maze. This
Price, can you lead us through?
Hit the maze, go southeast.
I need you both to make navigate tests as you try to work your way through the maze.
I don't have a GPS to really give them
You
solid
don't. You're
coordinates
extraordinarily
anyways.
well prepared.
I mean, he's got
So we're
cigarettes for
both doing
days, but you know.
navigate tests?
If you want to try to move through the maze, yeah, I need individual rolls from each of you.
Oh, okay.
Minus 20 makes me 10 navigate now.
Okay. Oh
Hey,
boy,
me too.
did you guys?
I'll fail.
94 fail.
Long, you can't roll tonight for shit.
You work through the maze. At a certain point, you're just like, fuck this. Like you're making a left, dead end. You're making a right, dead end. You're making a left, fuck this. And then you just like go southeast and like, screw it. And you just start walking southeast. Price and Carr, are you waiting for them?
Carr would be waiting for them.
So we
What are you
split
doing?
again.
We're not following. We're
I
you're
would feel like I'm on a
seeing
mission.
things. Yeah, but we're in a desert. They're coming. Just sit for. Well, just wait. We don't
You
want to
didn't-
have to be going back for them.
Just drag your feet and that'll make a path they'll find. Just shuffle for a
That's-
while. They'll figure it out. Come on, let's go.
This is not a good idea. They're coming. They'll
We
be
gave them
here
directions.
shortly.
They're capable. I've worked with them. They know what they're doing.
Generally saying go southeast. Out here, how do you think those damn kids that you've been complaining about all damn day got themselves lost? Shit like that. Let's
Got
just
a radio.
hold.
It's fine. You're worried
tight.
too much.
Does a radio have a picture in it? It just helps a little bit. It doesn't tell them exactly where to go.
All right, wait here.
Thank you.
I keep walking.
I knew that was coming.
Oh,
All right, Todd. Do you go with him?
She will get on. She'll go with, but she'll get on because now she knows that they've got one. So she's going to hop on and say, Weaver, switch to 6.
You hear it.
Okay, yeah. So I switched to 6.
Because Carr wants to have a more constant communication with Weaver that everyone else isn't privy to.
Okay. And then do you follow
Harris,
Price?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, I
Davis,
follow
I think it
Price.
is. Okay.
But she is doing exactly like she's kind of doing that thing where she's kind of dragging a little bit behind a bit. So she's going with him, but not necessarily keeping him visible, but kind of lagging a little bit behind and kind of shuffling her feet as she walks.
Right.
But yes, she goes with us.
Both of you roll navigate tests then. So if you're not going to follow him immediately and you're at a distance, you're going to make your own navigate test. There's some terrain that you have to kind of follow. So you're going to have to make your own. Then
If I took off my coat so I'm this bright blue and red spot on the distance, would that help her?
Nope.
Okay. I tried, Melissa.
Did you though?
Because you could have just stopped walking and you didn't just stop walking.
I
so
did
you didn't
literally
try at all.
everything I could do that was possible. There's nothing else I could have done.
Oh
This
shit.
is like password being nice all over again. Like,
Oh my god.
I rolled a 68 over 50.
Okay. Cara, how'd you
Had to
do?
fail one eventually.
96 over 10.
Okay. And you guys head off. At a certain point, though, Carr, you go over top of a rise. You just saw Price go over in his bright, whatever the hell color he's wearing. And when you get to the top of the rise and you look down the slope, you don't see Price anymore. We're going to cut to Chopra. Chopra, I'm going to say that you have done your shopping. You've gotten the equipment that you need to get. You've gotten a VHS for Weaver and some various hookups. And do you have SIGINT? I think we talked about this before. I think you do have SIGINT. What's your SIGINT at?
42.
42? Okay. That's enough. 40 is all I needed. Okay. So there are 5 tapes. And do you just systematically start listening to them?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going back to the hotel and
Okay. So we'll say you're in your hotel. You've got the equipment set up. You've got your laptop kind of set up to them, and you've got your headphones on and you're listening. The first one, there's about 14 minutes worth of wind and desert ambiance. And then you start to hear a survey team, you think maybe, or some sort of team, like some sort of team that's just sort of assessing like the topography, right? You're not sure if it's geological, you're not sure it's construction, kind of just discussing the terrain. And it's fairly mundane conversation. And at around the 15-minute mark, you hear like your ears kind of perk up because you hear something about them now talking where they're going to construct various compartments and elements of the facility. Then there's complete and utter silence for a good 7 minutes where you think maybe that's it, but there's so much other tape. And then it kicks back in again, and you hear a voice, and they sound sort of trembling. This place, it's like it's alive. The wind, it sighs. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Sounds like whispers. And then you hear this faint, eerie sound of desert wind that just kind of seems to form words, but doesn't. You just hear, and then you see the tape ends. Do you go on to the next one?
But that's just one.
That's just the first. That's just the
Holy
first.
shit.
There's 4 more.
Okay, before I move on to the others, I would like to make the attempt to record it onto my laptop digitally. Basically transfer it from this format to something that's more usable.
Yeah, I think we'll say you have the know-how and you probably could have gotten the equipment to make that kind of digital transference, no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
After I do that, I will send a group text to everyone being like, these audio cylinders have some pretty fucked up stuff on them. I'm gonna go to
None
the
of you
next
get that text, by the way.
We're all out of service.
Oh.
None of
Yeah,
you.
no, I
and
figured that's what would happen, but that's what she's doing anyway.
Okay.
But then after that is when it moves to the next one.
Okay. The second one, a lot of the same desert sounds for long stretches of time. And then you hear a conversation at one point, but it's scattered. The quality is really poor, but it's a voice. It's a woman's voice. We've been seeing strange lights at night. They've just here and there on the horizon. They move about and they just kind of hover sometimes and glow. And then this morning, some of our equipment was missing, and it just sort of reappeared, well, about a mile away from camp. And then you hear like this distorted voice of a reply. Wasn't it someone could have been playing tricks on you? No, sir, I don't. No, I don't think so. I don't think everyone's a little bit spooked. It might be good if we could kind of get back to town, maybe. And then there's this sudden static and distortion, as if like not so much like just from your experience, it sounds less like a problem with the physical tape, because even looking at it looks fine, but something on recording, and the rest of that tape for like a good 20 minutes, it's just that distorted static. That's tape 2. 3 more to go.
Yeah, I'm transposing it the same way I did the first one and then moving to the next one.
Okay. Starts with, again, the sounds of desert. Then you hear what vaguely sounds like an alarm. Almost like an old, like, you know, like an old, like an elementary school alarm, like the ringing of a bell.
Yeah,
and then it kind of echoes and echoes and echoes and echoes. And then you hear, Cartwright's gone. Cartwright's gone. One minute he was there, and then the next he's fucking gone. We need to get the fuck out of here. Something is not right. I don't know where the fuck he's at. He's fucking gone. He's fucking gone. Gone. And then like you hear another voice. It's just like calling out for Cartwright. And then there's like silence. And then it almost sounds like a distant rumble of either thunder or like almost like something quaking. And then there's just murmurs. And then the tape ends.
Okay, this is getting increasingly unsettling.
Right?
So I think it takes at least half again as long for her to transpose this, because she has to keep reminding herself that like this is the thing to do. You have to push through. You have to push through. And after convincing herself of her ability to push through, she's gonna listen to the fourth one.
The fourth one, you hear the sounds of traffic. Like cars going by, like a distant car horn. And then you hear
recognizable, because that's her first like.
It's just traffic. I don't think you'd be able to distinguish traffic.
No.
It's just traffic. and you hear like the clinking of a glass, like someone's stirring. And then you hear a voice. We saw the creatures, sand dwellers. They were just blinking in and out existence. They just were there, and then they weren't there, and then they were there. They seemed to like live right on the edge of sight, you know, just there. I'm telling you, man, they're not of the world. They're not fucking Greys, man. A second voice comes in. What the fuck are you talking about? They're not. We would know. But it's something else. It's just something. And then you hear like the sounds of like shuffling, like footsteps. And then you hear a woman's voice. Well, hey, how y'all doing? Can I get you anything else? Can I get you fill up on that coffee there? No, we're all right. Okay. You want the check then? Yeah. Check, please. Okay. Well, thank y'all for coming. And like you hear like this scribbling, and then a torn piece of paper, and then like the clinking of glasses once more, and then the voice is, yeah, we got to go back out there. Doc, I don't know if that's a good idea, Doc. That's the whole fucking thing's gone. Where the fuck did it go? We gotta go back out there. Okay? We'll be fine. We deal with this all the time. We'll be fine. And then you hear like a really loud car horn, and then the audio cuts off.
The man that was being referred to as Doc, does that sound like Doc Marshall at all?
No, it didn't sound like him.
Okay. Same thing.
One more.
The last one, but this time kind of have the thought of like, because the other three felt like they were, at least from what I was shared, it felt like they were recorded with some intention. Mm-hmm. This felt like overhearing something that happened, and so Chopra's kind of like trying to figure out what the fuck that means while she moves to the last one.
Okay. The last one, there's like static for a bit, then wind, and then you hear, and it's really bad audio. So it's a little choppy. This is Dr. Martin. It's October 5th, 1970. Time, 1400 hours. I think. I don't really know for sure. I don't know where I am. It's just like a city. We found the facility, and then it was empty. There's no one there, and then just like whoosh, it was, and then there's like another bit of static and silence, and then wind, and then you hear that same voice. Can you understand me? Can you communicate? And then you hear this wind. We need to know your purpose here. Why here? Why are you dwelling in this place? We just want to know. We just want to know. And then you just hear like the wind increases, like in this intensity, like a whistle almost. Are you aware of what effects your presence here has on this place, on the people? Is this intentional? And it kind of louder and louder and wilder. Please, we're just trying to understand. And then the howling of the wind gets crazy and crazy. And then you hear something kind of getting knocked. No, I'm sorry. And then you hear like, just sounds like this weird buzzing. And then it cuts off.
Holy fuck. I'm going to I'm gonna go over to that lead-lined case thing and open it back up again and look at those 2 papers once again. And
You see
I
the doc?
know once it's
You see Martin?
Doc
Yeah.
Martin. I don't remember what the other one said because I didn't take that fucking note fast.
It was anomalies.
Anomalies.
It was dimensional anomalies.
Dimensional anomalies. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. I'm gonna send another text to them and see that my first one hasn't gone through. But I'm gonna send another text like, you guys need to get back here right the fuck now.
We cut and we see Inferno and Weaver. Their phones do not buzz. Their phones do not ring. They do not make a sound. Both of you roll. Actually, no. Whichever one of you wants, roll a navigate test. One of the 2 of you.
We're both rolling 10s, so
Yeah, but I don't want to.
okay, I'll roll.
He's learning from Steven.
A 17 fail.
Okay. You go in the direction that you think you're supposed to go. And the heat is just bearing down. Bear in mind, neither of you had someone pointing, and neither of you saw a reflection. So you're just sort of going what you think is southeast, according to the GPS that has been trying to tell you for the past hour that you're in Antarctica. And so you find yourselves like just looking, and you see just desert. Like there's brush and shrubbery and rock formations, hills, and you don't even know where the hell you are right now.
Weaver's getting frustrated, and she's like, gets on there. Have you guys stopped walking? Why have we not caught up with you guys yet?
Price wouldn't
Carr, you
stop
hear that?
walking. I don't know where he is. I tried to slow down. He wouldn't stop. Now he's too far ahead. I don't see him. I'll stay put. Is there anyone else in this area? Like, I know there were search parties out and around. Like, is there anybody here?
You look around, you don't see
Ranger
anybody.
Sam, but that's it.
Okay. So the reason I'm asking is because I'm thinking of like oh my god, and just shooting it in the air, hoping that like they'll hear the sound.
That'll echo.
And
Okay. You want to do that?
let me see if I have anything else that I don't know.
If that's what Carr would do.
I feel like what's the best way for you to know where we are?
Pop. Yeah, no problem.
Here,
Just kidding.
listen for
We die, it randomly lands on our heads. We're corpses in the desert.
What chances that happen? Let's find out. Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I don't. This feels like the best
Price,
of the
Weaver,
options at the moment.
Inferno, all of you hear a couple gunshots go off. So Inferno and Weaver, you had stopped for a moment maybe to talk. I need the 2 of you, however, to make a con times 5 as well.
Did she warn us she was shooting?
She warned
Yeah, I said that through the
Weaver?
walkie. Like, I'm
Okay.
gonna shoot. I'm
whether
gonna
you were
shoot.
paying attention, I don't know.
Just
I'm
instinctively
gonna shoot a
duck.
couple shots. Listen for them. That's where I am. I will stay put.
Okay.
35. Pass.
Okay.
Oh, I passed this one. 64 under 65.
Both of you take 1 point of willpower loss. That's the minimum for a regular pass.
Oh no!
You've been traveling. It's very hot. He's okay. It's fine.
One left.
And then you hear the gunshots. Price, Carr, both of you go ahead and give me those con times 5 tests as well.
Okay. Hey, I passed one. 25 under 45.
1 point of
I
willpower
rolled a 25
loss.
under 60.
Okay, all of you. You've learned to cheat. Good job. 1 point of willpower loss across the board. And that's when the gunshot goes off. All of you hear it. Do you all try to run towards it?
I mean, yeah,
Price,
because
you have no idea about this plan. The other 3 do.
Yeah.
I don't think it would distract me. I'd definitely look out, and I would think it'd be safe to put 2 and 2 together that it's probably one of them shooting, or it's just a redneck plinking at cans somewhere. So I wouldn't really be concerned about something happening.
Okay. I'll give you an option then. Navigate or alertness or search. I'll take any of those 3 because a gunshot did go off. It might be a danger thing. Search, you just could be looking for where the sound came from, or navigate, which I'm sure no one will take. This is all to find their way to Carr.
I'll take the search then. Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Could I take the alertness just to roll it?
Yeah. Okay, go for it. I know you want to roll your alertness with your 8 billion.
Question
alertness.
for fails.
I never get to roll it.
I never get to roll
I'm
my
gonna
alertness.
try search. They're all bad.
I
Pass
passed
looked at
87
59.
under 90.
Oh, I thought you had failed. I thought you were the 98 that just came up
That was
from
me.
Weaver. I was like, holy crap, he's going to fail it. Okay.
Wow.
I only failed by 3. I was so excited.
Okay. So, Price, you passed, and then Inferno, you passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Weaver starts venturing off in the wrong direction, and you see her she's heading the wrong way. Like, you don't know what's in her ears, but that is not the way to go. Do you say anything to her, or do you just let her walk?
Is it the way back she's headed?
It's like sort of northward. She's just venturing northward.
I have to not come back. No, Weave, it's this way. Come on.
Are you sure? Like, I could have sworn I heard it from over there.
No, I've heard a lot of gunshots in my time. It's this way.
Okay.
Okay.
And she'll follow.
So the 4 of you, one by one, will show up on this small, this sort of small little terrace there's an incline from where Inferno and Weaver, and it kind of flattens out for a ways. Price, you kind of come climbing down like this little rock formation you had sort of weaved up, and you can see this expanse, and there's Carr standing there. All of you notice, though, when you arrive, that maybe 20 yards from her, and maybe it's probably easiest for Price as he's coming down from a slight elevation, there is what appears to be another one of these mazes. And this one's bigger, though. This one's probably 30 yards radius. And it's got the same design, same look. You can see the same kind of pulled up earth, the stones, all weaving around in different ways. But it's right next to, not like immediately next to Carr, but like 20 yards away. And then all of you are together. Still sun. What do you want to do?
Maze we've been going through, these are like natural mazes. That's just what it's marked as.
No, someone
man-made.
clearly has
Okay.
pieced these together. They have like kind of sort of plowed or scooped up the earth to create these little pathways, and then there's like on either side of the pathways is the dirt that they push to the side, and then they in that raised dirt put these stones to mark the various paths.
With the navigator tool, I'm gonna mark this spot as like maze 2.
Okay.
Even if
Okay.
like the coordinates are incorrect right now, just knowing I mean like the flip side, the other side of the world.
When you take a look, you notice that the coordinates have actually changed. Does not look like you are in Antarctica anymore. The numbers don't align with what you've seen on the satellite photos, though. It still looks off. But it doesn't look like you're in Antarctica anymore.
Okay.
Oh, you have a GPS device on you. That was good thinking. We did not come with one of those. Good to see you both.
Oh, it took so long.
You don't look so well.
These heat's beating me up.
Fuck.
It is.
I would fish through the tote bag as I'm walking back, and I would toss gently a bottle of water at Carr, because I know that I had our drinks for both of us. And then I would toss a pack of cigarettes to Inferno, and without even saying a word, I would just start working on the maze.
Okay. Because you've had experience in these, you have an option. Anyone who wants to do is you all have to do your own rolls. But it's either navigate or you can roll int times 3. So whatever your int score is, times 3 and under that, because all of you have participated in this maze walk before.
It's about the same for me. It'd be 48 or 50,
yeah.
so I'll go navigate.
51 is way better than 10, so I'm gonna roll that.
Oh, I'll take the goal of 39.
Ooh, baby.
Rolled an
Coming
up, Lolly.
18.
9.
All right.
Oh no, I failed!
9 is fantastic. Oh no!
Oh
you
man.
Read it backwards and I got so excited.
So many 90s between you and Long tonight. My
Failed
gosh.
as well.
Wow. All right, so Inferno and Weaver failed, but Carr and Price succeeded. Did I hear that correctly?
Correct.
Okay. You all kind of take different routes because it is a maze. It's circuitous. You don't know which way you're going, so maybe you all kind of split up, take different directions. Inferno and Weaver, you both end up at dead ends. Carr, Price, you are at this for maybe 15 minutes. You go all over this damn thing. Price, just like before, and Carr, you watched him do this. This time you actually are also doing it. You reach the center. This sort of circular series of stones. And you can see like there's a sort of spiral rivulets of ground. Doesn't look like anyone's been here recently. There's no footsteps. Doesn't look like anyone's reached like today or yesterday or anything like that. Both of you roll a POW times 5.
Did we take the same path to get here?
What do you mean? Oh, like
we
during
both
the maze?
made it to the center, but were there different routes?
They did not take the same path, the two of you.
Ooh,
59
critical
over
success.
50.
33 under 55.
Critical success.
Yeah, and I rolled it in Founder. You can see it. See the
I'm
event.
just honest and admit that I failed.
Okay. So, Price, you're looking around a bit, and you like there's somewhat of an anticlimactic feeling as you've reached here. Like last time around, something kind of popped up, but this time it feels deflating in some way. Until like you look off in the distance again, you think it's maybe to the northwest, and you see that reflection again. That little beam, that reflection, and then it quickly dissipates. Carr, on the other hand, as you're looking around, you see in the distance, somewhere vaguely to the northeast, you see this distant, hazy horizon. And there's nothing out here. But you see what very much looks like buildings, like a city, like a facility. You see a couple 2 stories, a couple 1 stories. Looks like a tower, maybe? And as your head is kind of cocked, you realize there's something in the corner of your eye. And as you turn your head, you can see that standing right outside the maze, and in fact, just a few feet away from Inferno and Weaver, who don't seem to be reacting to it at all, is a large man. He is wearing only a loincloth. You can see that his head looks to be a giant cow skull. Roll sand.
Oh my gosh. Oh, 97 over 49.
He'll take 3 points of sand loss. But his arm raises. And he points. And as his arm raises, you see it just lift up right behind Inferno's head. And this time he points not northeast towards that city, that facility thing. Instead, he points to the northwest. And you take 3 points of sand. Do you want to try to push that off into one of your bonds?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Because I am nearing a breaking point.
It does take willpower, though.
Oh. These are the dilemmas that we have. I'll try to pass it off on my
D4.
mother.
Give me a D4.
Roll a D4.
There you go.
So all
Roll
of
a
it
3.
goes. So
But
I'm
you
down
will
to
lose-
5 willpower, but I'm
Holy
still at
shit.
49 sand.
When you kind of comport yourself, you realize he just completely vanishes instantly. And when you look back to the horizon, you no longer see the hazy city.
Agents, did you not see that figure behind you? You didn't see it?
You're getting hit with heat stroke too, huh?
Did you see him
Maybe we
point?
should head back.
Where'd he point?
Yes. Yes. So there's a
Did he
building.
point that way? And I point towards where the city was,
I'll get there.
You didn't know where you don't know where the city was.
or where I saw like the glare. I saw a reflection.
You saw
glare.
northwest.
You saw the glare.
Was where you saw the glare.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But there's buildings that way. But that wasn't the way he was pointing. He was pointing that way. So yes, the way you're pointing, Price, that's the way he was pointing.
Inferno
have you
and Weaver,
been-
they're fucking babbling like idiots about random people pointing. You didn't see anything.
I really think you guys need to just sit in the shade for a little bit, and you're
No,
showing
no,
signs
it's-
of heat stroke.
It's not that. It's how we got here was that we've each seen different things. And whenever there's been pointing, that's how we've located the mazes. There's something going on here. This isn't your first rodeo. There are things that don't appear explainable, and we have found it.
I get that, but also we're in the middle of a desert during the high heat time of day. We weren't necessarily super prepared. Vin's wearing fucking loafers in the desert.
And I'm
He's
cooked.
not
My
wearing
skin
a
is
hat.
bright red.
Yeah. And I said, I dealt with FEMA. That's something I used to do. Natural disasters. Heat is a natural disaster. This is stuff, horrible things can happen to people.
Horrible things. You're right. You said it was this way, and I start walking.
Okay.
We should all stick together. Let's not separate again. Coming? Davis?
Does any of this match with the coordinates that we have? Like any of the directions?
No. You have no. Yeah, you're not anywhere that he has mapped on his GPS.
Does any of this match with the direction that we know the facility to be?
You mean you can't even look at your GPS isn't giving you coordinates. Like you'd have no idea where those coordinates are. It doesn't align with the numbers that you saw on those photos, the satellite photos you have.
Okay. None of this is aligning with what we have.
But what we have hasn't been successful. So they've been searching for days using known information, and that hasn't gotten anywhere. We're doing what we do. We use what we have. I hear you. We may end up turning our channels back to 7 and getting a medivac, but for now, I think
Price
we
is
should
almost
stick
at
the
it.
4 of us together.
Yeah, and at that point, once he gets like halfway out of view is when we start following, I think.
Okay. What about you, Inferno? Do you go?
Yeah, I have no disagreement to where they're going. I have to follow whoever's in front of me.
All right, I need the 4 of you to roll con tests again. Con times 5.
Oh no! Inferno's gonna go down no matter what. He's gonna go
Yeah.
down.
If he rolls a
loses
crit, he'll get nothing.
Control.
But he just lose. Yeah, he just loses control. He doesn't die on the spot or anything.
28.
Okay.
81. Fail.
Okay.
27 pass.
Are we rolling straight con or con times 3?
5. Con times 5.
Okay, I rolled it right on.
Okay.
Succeed.
Inferno, Weaver, Carr, all 1. Price 2. Willpower. That's
That
the heat.
Puts me down to 2, so I start having an emotional breakdown as well.
You also. Okay, so what does it look like? What's the emotional breakdown for you?
I think I'm obsessing over this. As I've started to do in recent cases when there's something clearly supernatural. I just start focusing on it. And I would feel like we're not moving fast enough to get where we're supposed to be going. And I would feel like there's a timer with the sun cooking down. We only have so many hours of daylight. I would feel like we're just moving too slow, getting frustrated with talking about whether we're going to follow these signs or not. So I think there's a point where I would actually just start jogging. Like I would just like power walking, trying to move as fast as possible in the right direction, looking for another maze.
Okay. One point, Price, you look over your shoulders, see if they're following you. Jogging, speed walking. You start to get those visions, those little things at the side of your eyes again. Here or there. But then when you look back over your shoulder and you see Inferno and Carr and Weaver, they're at a little bit of a distance, but they're not that far from you. You see figures descending on them from both sides. And at first, like when they're coming just from the edges of your eyesight, they're like shimmering and they're vague to see, but then they start to manifest with clarity. And you see what looks like 4 men and women. They're dressed purely in these dark fatigues. You see each of them has what looks like some kind of assault rifle and a hat on. A few of them are wearing some kind of goggles, and they're just, and you see right at the feet of Inferno and Carr and Weaver, this dust starts to kick up left and right and left and right and left and right. And they're just firing, and Carr, Inferno, and Weaver are just walking. What do you do, Price?
I'm screaming, get down, get cover, and I pull my gun and I go down like to the nearest boulder, and I think I would start firing at the figures shooting at them.
Okay. Inferno, Carr, and Weaver. Each of you go ahead and roll a dodge. Unless you choose not to hit the deck. Unless you choose not to hit the deck.
So I hit 0 willpower, so I'm dragging along, and I go, "It's so fucking hot out here," and then I pass out because I can't pass any rolls.
Okay, and so you go to hit the deck, and you just don't get back up. You just collapse onto the ground.
I failed.
Okay, but don't worry. Carr did something else. Go ahead and tell us what you did, Carr.
I crit failed.
And you take a bullet from Price's gun, square, center mass. Price, go ahead and roll your damage.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Trying to help you. 4.
You take 4 points of damage. This isn't lethal, right? Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, I just checked.
4 points of damage. You get hit, and you just fall to the ground.
And she's just yelling and cussing, like, what are you shooting at? What the hell are you shooting at?
You watch Price as these figures start to surround. There's 4 of them, and they're like their guns are pointed down. They've got them circled. You see Carr's on the ground, Inferno's on the ground, Weaver's on the ground. It almost looks like their hands are over their heads, and like these whatever the hell these fatigue, these camouflage like special operatives are just they're screaming at them. You can't hear what they're saying, but you kind of and like every time they scream, you just hear like the wind just begins to course through them. You see the sand begin to swirl around, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You see there's Carr, there's Weaver, and Inferno on the ground. What do you do, Price?
I think right as like they're gone is when I would have unloaded my clip as well. So my gun cocks back, and I start immediately going into muscle memory, start reloading the clip, cock it, and then I just start looking again. Where the fuck are they? Where'd they go?
Put your weapon down. There's no one here. You just shot me.
Definitely don't
holster your weapon
down. But I do look around, wondering what the fuck's
You don't
going
see them. Weaver, you pick your head up. It's covered in sand. You realize you all are in this big patch of sand. Carr, Weaver, and Inferno, you're laying down in such a way that you kind of make a triangle. Price is standing 20 yards from you. And Weaver, when you pick your head up and you look over to where Inferno is, you can't see him. because in between you and him, you see there's a mound in the sand. And what looks like a skeletal remains of a woman's body is lying half buried in that sand. And we'll go ahead and we'll stop there, and we'll pick up on that next time around.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck.
Jeff, are
That was
you
rough.
gaslighting me into shooting my own party?
No, your bad rolls are, buddy. And then Melissa's bad rolls.
Holy shit.
Oh, what a time for a crit fail
Oh,
on a
God.
dodge for a gunshot.
God damn. When
At
I
least that's on you
failed, I
instead
was
of
like,
me, right?
oh shit, I'm in danger. And then
I
I,
was
saw
going
the
to just be
red
like,
and the crit
yeah.
failure.
If like I was going to get the worst roll, it's just going to get clipped for like 1 point of damage, but then she crit failed. Now she has to take the full shot.
Oh, yeah. No,
Ah,
it's a
if only
crit
he had
fail.
a lethality weapon, he just killed her and be like, boom, well, there we go again.
Another character for Melissa.
Just roll it up. Oh my goodness. All right. That was fun. That was fun.
That was
I think.
Great
That was
session.
such
Great
a good
session.
session.
So good.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Chopra's
So-
back
I love
in
how
Best
it's like-
Western watching cat videos. Like,
Yeah.
Cat
got
eating
cat
room
videos
service. Just like, where is everybody? I don't understand where everybody is. Checking your Instagram.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
Weaver
goodness.
thinks you guys are fucking insane because we haven't seen shit out here.
Yeah. It's
oh,
funny.
so
All right.
good.
Let's do some closing plugs and we'll get on out of here. So, Steven, if you don't mind shutting the hell up, so Maitra can tell us about where we can find her on the internet. Go ahead, Maitra.
Jesus fuck.
Every time.
And Matthew plays games on YouTube where I make system agnostic tabletop content that centers the cheap playing experience. And I'm taking a bit of a hiatus for real life stuff, but I hope to be getting back to it very shortly.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Steven, what do you got going on, buddy?
I'm working on a Weird West RPG called Huckleberry. It comes out on August 1st in early access. And I'll be premiering it at Gen Con. So if you're at Gen Con, come find me, say hello. The best way to get a hold of me would probably be through Discord. Conveniently, Lollygaggers have a new Discord. So you can join our Discord, hang out with us, see all the fun gifts that I post, all the mean gifts that Melissa posts relating to the episode. It's a great time. There's really no reason not to be there because all the cool people are there.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
about
And
all
if
I
you're
got.
a dick, you just get booted. So that's kind of how that works.
I've gotten booted like 8 times.
It's true.
I
He keeps
keep
coming
doing
back.
Act like a
I
little
understand.
cockroach. You're
I'm
like,
confused.
Oh,
I'm going to write Discord. I don't think your banning system works properly.
No, I just keep making new accounts. Bytor
let's
5,
see.
Bytor 6, Bytor 7.
Is that what it is? Okay.
we're on 14 right now. Wow.
All right. So as for us, next game's tomorrow. Same crew, Call of Cthulhu, Mexico City. Things are equally hopeless there. Monday, you can see Trey, myself, and Melissa as we are playing through some Alien. I think we've got on Monday. Tuesday, Stephen broke our heart in his contract, so we don't have a game. Thursday, Simba Room. And Friday, in an odd twist, we're actually going to be playing deltagreen again. So next Friday, we're going to have 2 weeks in a row because normally we'd be doing a Warhammer next week, but Aaron can't play. So we're just going to take advantage of that, and we're going to try to make sure we get another game at deltagreen in before we all, a few of us anyway, head off to Gen Con. So we'll be back in 1 week. And so you get to see who Chopra's new cell members are that she gets to work with because the other 4 are fucking dead. So that's going to be how that works. Other than that, let's go ahead. We're going to raid 20 sides to every story. They're playing some X-Crawl classics. So follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
So, yep.